out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Parenting is hard. Technology can make it harder. The Family Media Plan developed by the American Academy of Pediatrics helps make it easier. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan today to create the media plan that's right for your family.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Scattered showers and thunderstorms as we get through the late afternoon and evening hours. It's definitely hot out there, highs in the low 90s. We have a level 1 risk for severe storms for parts of the area, so some of the storms could produce some wind damage. It's still warm and muggy tonight at 71, but with more rain and clouds in the forecast, tomorrow we'll see highs in the mid-80s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 175 points to 45,945. Market update brought to you by Howard Hanna Allen Tate. Ready to sell your home? Trust the #1 real estate company in the Carolinas, Howard Hanna Allen Tate. Let them show you a real estate experience that is different from all others. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Bet365. When it comes to sports books, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
But there was a goal. I don't know if we got a goal first or the fight, so we'll have to figure this out. But Smith is going right now with Ben Harper. A couple of heavyweights here. Smith getting a left, now trying to come over the top of the right. Harper and Smith. Now they'll go along the boards. There's the takedown by Giovanni Smith. There's his man that'll create a turnover. Kotkaniemi shoots and scores! Oh, what a beautiful setup. Svechnikov on the forecheck puts it onto the tape, and Kotkaniemi.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the sounds of those highlights, you may have thought the Canes won their preseason game number 2. Well, if you stopped watching early, you probably think they did win preseason game number 2. They did not win preseason game number 2. This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox producing the show. Happy Thursday to you all. Download the 99.9 The Fan app and buckle up for a little thing we call the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
The Canes did not win preseason game number 2. They lost 4-2. Yikes. Not really.
Who cares?
I refuse to get worked up about a late game collapse in the preseason when you pull your goalie and, you took your foot off the gas at the specific time when it's okay to take your foot off the gas.
It's probably the number 5 goalie in your organization and they're in the third period.
And even that is like
probably
number 5. Like it's not locked in. I wanted to go into the locker room or like go into the mind, I guess, like of the players and coaches after the game and get them to stop saying things so dramatic. Right? Sebastian Aho, obviously, brutal third period. At least we got a lesson in how not to play hockey. Rod Brindamore, it's a great game. It's great that the game, let me be clear on that. It's great that the game doesn't count. Let's put it that way. I'm going, all of that is true. God, practice, move on. Like it is, I don't even, like normally in this situation I say, would you rather have one? I don't know. There is no would you rather. What I rather have happen is the top line got reps together, something to learn from, which they did. What I would rather have happen is everybody skate off healthy, which by all accounts, I'm sure there might be a boo-boo or an owie, but other than that, they're doing fine. Last night, victory. It was a 4-2 loss victory is what it was for the Carolina Hurricanes. Ehlers and Jarvis were -3 on the ice each. Obviously, a lot of overlap there. Aho was -2. Do you think that's going to continue? No? Cool. Then there's absolutely nothing to worry about. There are guys trying to make the roster. There are guys trying to make the team, and their film grades will be what decide that. Their film grades, how did they react in certain situations that you wanted to see them in? What was their decision-making? Should they have taken the shots that they shot? We can figure out if there's some level of, the something tangible that led to maybe a lack of production for some of the younger guys, or if there were goals left on the ice from some of the younger guys. But there's no changes. There's no, we got to go back to the drawing board. There's none of that. There's none of that. There's one specific thing that I think is interesting, and it could be a bit of inception from Adam Gold yesterday, putting it into the back of my brain. We'll get to that at about 3:15. So if there's something tangible, something that I will take away from preseason game number 2, about 10 minutes, all you need to do to hang around to hear that insight. In the meantime, let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
It's Thursday, fully looking ahead towards the weekend in college football. 2 really interesting low-key games for some teams in the Triangle. First of all, UNC is on a bye. They might have the most work to do, and they don't even have a game. So the real work's happening in the shadows in Chapel Hill. NC State hosts Virginia Tech. I think this is a fascinating checkpoint. This is a fascinating I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but when you're a kid and you go up to the door and you measure yourself and you put the little mark there and you write the date, I think this is a really good one for NC State. Because think back to the Wake Forest game, which wasn't that long ago. What was Wake Forest dealing with? Well, they had a running quarterback that was a much better runner than a passer. You were dealing with a team that had some coaching change in their recent history. They had players that were new. They were still getting to know each other. You had a few players that were really talented you had to pay attention to, but you definitely had some aspects of the roster that they were building. I can describe Virginia Tech the exact same way. Kyron Drones, their quarterback, better runner than he is a passer at this point in his career, similar to Robbie Ashford. Recent coaching change. For Wake Forest, it was in the offseason. For Virginia Tech, it was in the middle of the season, before their most recent game. They have a few players they have to pay attention to. They got a tight end I was watching today. Gosnell looks like a good player. Donovan Green is someone we're familiar with in the state of North Carolina from his time at Wake Forest, kind of a big play guy. And they have some other players, some other positions that are, they're definitely building, right? It's a work in progress. So how did that Wake Forest game go? Well, State had just a handful of lapses, and it made it probably more difficult than it should have been. Found themselves down 14-0 due to special teams and a big play. Even once they fought back, they gave Wake Forest some boosts. They still went on to win, and they still went on to win kind of handily, but it was much more difficult than it had to be going up against a team with everything going on that I just talked about. So now with a similar opportunity, a similar opponent, what have they learned? Have they gotten better? Will they eliminate those snafus? And then Duke is going to Syracuse. And I look at this as Duke has to get into a rhythm now. Syracuse with a backup quarterback, right? Steve Angeli, who's one of the top passers in the country, ended up getting hurt last game. It's an Achilles, which means he ain't coming back for a while. But I will say this, Syracuse, if your team takes on the identity of your coach, they have a defiant personality. Fran Brown is combative. He is not afraid to talk trash and try to back it up. So you're not going to get a Syracuse rolling over because their quarterback got hurt. You're going to get a Syracuse showing up trying to prove something.
Yeah, and like you said, a coach that's not afraid to go for surprise onside kicks in the first quarter.
Not afraid of a whole bunch.
Yeah.
He does not make any decisions thinking about like, oh, what if this goes horribly wrong? Which is kind of it's a good way to go about it. But Duke goes to Syracuse, then they have Cal, then they have number 16, Georgia Tech. If the standard for Duke is what it's been the last 3 years, 8 wins plus, they have to go on a streak, right? Because they've started with a couple losses against Illinois and Tulane. They have to go on a streak if they want to get there, and it has to start with Syracuse. So or I guess you could argue it started with State. It has to continue with Syracuse, and that's where they're putting themselves going into this weekend. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
The Panthers are practicing today, Carolina Panthers, that is. And I'll give you just the injury information that I've picked up through social media, and then, Dennis, you can tell me if I missed anything. Tetairoa McMillan in full pads practicing, which means yesterday, the rest day for the Cav, looks to be more precautionary than anything, which is a huge deal because he is a big part of that passing offense. And then the other one that I found very interesting, Turk Wharton appears to be practicing today, not working off to the side, like actually in the mix.
Yeah, full pads.
Which he has not done in quite some time due to it was a collapsed lung?
No, he had the hamstring injury.
Sorry, that was Scorton with the collapsed lung. You're exactly right.
He had the hamstring injury week 1 against Jacksonville.
There you go. So Turk Wharton coming back. That's big for a team that needs all the help up front they can get.
Yeah, especially Pat Jones didn't practice today. Neither did DJ Wanham. So both are starting edge rushers. We actually did see week 2, because of Turk Wharton's injury, Pat Jones actually slide inside on the defensive line in some pass rush situations. So getting Turk Wharton back could help in that regard too.
And I mean, this is a team with 1 sack this year.
Yeah, by a rookie.
That's true, Princely McMillan. And I'm not like sometimes I know I exaggerate. I actually I've been doing this because this is just, letting you guys, everybody out there know I'm working for you. I'm trying to get better. I was listening back to our show like 2-3 weeks ago, and I realized some of my exaggerations weren't exaggerating enough. I was like, oh no, I said 100 when I probably should have said 1 billion, because 100 might be plausible, right? So I was trying to exaggerate, and I made it so maybe you could be confused. When I say they have 1 sack this year, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not. 1 isn't like a funny number. No, 1 is how many sacks they have this year. That is a fact. So I want to be clear on that. So Turk Wharton coming back, Nick Scorton, Princely McMillan playing bigger roles, Pat Jones out. If that impacts their pass rush in a negative way, in whatever way, there's not a lot of room to go down. Not quite rock bottom, but not a lot of room to go down for the pass rush. And you're going up against a player in Drake Maye, who one of the things that he struggled with this year, and there's not much of it, right? He's been very good for a second-year player kind of taking over an offense, new coaching staff. But if there's something he's done is he has tried to play hero ball, as our guest yesterday, Chris Mason from Mass Live, called it. He recognizes they don't have the weapons and he needs to try to do everything himself. He holds on to the ball a little bit. He'll turn it over a little bit. If he's holding on to the ball and you're not making him pay by putting him on his hindquarters in the backfield, that's an issue. So Turk Wharton is a sight for sore eyes out there on the practice field. Hopefully he can not only play this weekend but be effective this weekend, because the Panthers need every pass rusher they can healthy and ready to roll. That's the big 3 at 3 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. I promised a real, tangible conversation other than the preseason doesn't matter, coming out of the Canes' second preseason game last night, a 4-2 loss to the I almost said Carolina Panthers, to the Florida Panthers. Not that the opponent really matters in preseason, but there is one thing I want to talk about that is tangible, and I think we can take away something from it. So stick around. That's coming up next.
Hello, I'm John Heister for John Heister Chevrolet in Fuquay Arena. And people are asking us, how are you selling so many cars all of a sudden? Well, did you know that the Beltline has opened up the outer loop? We're only 28 minutes from Knightdale. We're only 19 minutes from Clayton and 15 minutes from Apex. We're now the most convenient Chevrolet dealership to reach in the Triangle. It's just one more reason to get off your keister and come to Heister.
Now at John Heister Chevrolet, get up to $11,000 off a new 2025 Chevy Silverado RST or 2.9 for 72 months. See dealer for details. Together, let's drive.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Folks, if you have struggled with your weight, you definitely need to listen to this. Through the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center, I have lost over 35 pounds. And I'm approaching almost 40 pounds lost thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And that's just the start. The goal with Raleigh Weight Loss Center is not just to reach a target weight. It's to help you maintain that target weight once you get there. So many of these fad diets, it's up and down. Up and down, up and down. Raleigh Weight Loss Center wants you to keep it down once you reach that weight. No shots or injections, just restarting and resetting your metabolism. That way your body can do the natural thing. My clothes fit better. I'm sleeping a lot better. I'm not snoring as much at night. Everything has gotten so much better thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Visit them online, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, or give them a call, 919-897-7506, 919-897-7506. Set up that free consultation at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
Svechnikov counters his man. That'll create a turnover. Kotkaniemi shoots. Nothing. Svechnikov counters his man. That'll create a turnover. Kotkaniemi shoots and scores. Oh, what a beautiful setup. Svechnikov on the forecheck puts it onto the tape, and Kotkaniemi whistles it past Tarasov. 2-0 Carolina.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Remix version of that highlight.
The remix. I should not do that.
No, you shouldn't.
So let's turn to something that I do feel like I'm more locked in on, and that would be, of course, movies. Dennis, are you an Inception fan?
Oh, I love that movie.
Okay,
fantastic
cool.
movie.
I have learned it's a little polarizing. People either love it or they leave it going like, I didn't understand it the whole time. I didn't like it. Adam Gold may have Inceptioned to me a little bit yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday we had him on the show. Right at the end of the show, we were ending early to make way for the Carolina Hurricanes preseason game 2, and he was at the arena, so I was like, let's hear from it. Let's see the vibes. And he talked to us. And it wasn't even an intentional, like, I didn't steer the conversation here. I wanted to do the fun stuff. I wanted to talk about Aho centering Ehlers and Jarvis. Turned out wasn't that fun in the game, but it was just preseason. But kind of offhanded, I forget even how we did it, I referenced a hint of Jesperi Kotkaniemi's playing. And Adam jumped in. Do we have this audio here? And Adam jumped in and just talked to, just offhand made a comment about Jesperi Kotkaniemi in the preseason and specifically last night. Here's what Adam said.
I think this preseason is enormous for him to reestablish who he can be, because I don't rule out that Kotkaniemi has that spot when the season begins. So I think tonight, and however many times he plays, he's got to make statements. So I actually look for 82 to be a very noticeable player tonight, and however many times he plays in the preseason.
And that right there, as soon as he hung up, and we had like a minute and 30 by the time we were done talking to Adam for the end of the show, I said, all right, I'm going to change the way I'm going to watch tonight. Because I was going into it looking for the statement from somebody like Bradley Nadeau or somebody like Dominic Badinka, right? Somebody in the prospect part of the team that's looking to make a name for themselves. That's the statement I was looking for, but I went, no, now I'm going to look for Jesperi Kotkaniemi. And then he scores a goal, and it's a pretty good goal. And I'm like, ooh, is that the statement that Adam Gold was looking for? And I'll say this too. There were a few times, and maybe it's just me, I got to get back into hockey watching form, right, where it's preseason for all of us, right? Refs make some rough calls in the preseason. They're getting into the mix too, not just the players, right? Maybe I'm just not in sitting back and watching hockey form. I'm used to football where we get a nice 40-second break between every play, and I get to regroup, and obviously hockey gets up and down the ice. There were a few times where, out of my peripheral, I went like, who's that? It was a bigger dude moving a little faster than I'm used to. And it was actually Kotkaniemi. And I'm going all right, maybe my guy woke up. Maybe Kotkaniemi is at 25 years old, which tell me that's not a strain. If you would have asked me, he's 32. He's newly 25. Within the last 2 or 3 months, 25-year-old Jesperi Kotkaniemi has the play, finishes the goal, moving around a little faster, pushing off a little more aggressive. Somebody his size is never going to be he's never going to be out of the block super fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take a couple strides, but he was moving, and I was pleased to see it. And
it's out there killing penalties a little bit last night too.
And it felt like he was very eager to play in that game, maybe to make a statement. And it got me thinking. That's the anti-Kotkaniemi thing. That's the anti-Kotkaniemi thing. Because I can't tell you how many times since I started doing the show years ago now, I've said, this is the game Kotkaniemi needs to step up, right? This is where the season could turn if Kotkaniemi makes a play. And he's been quiet in those situations almost 100% of the time. Not to say he never does anything good, but it's just when the moment builds, right? To use another movie reference, when the score crescendos, right? When the music starts getting louder, John Williams style, right? When it starts to bum 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 bum, he's always like, nope, not today. And I'm not saying last night was the biggest pressure thing. I'm not saying it was the climax of the movie. I'm not saying it was the rising action. It's still preseason, but Adam Gold put it in my brain that this preseason he needs to make a statement. And then I turned the game on, and Kotkaniemi scored. And Kotkaniemi was moving well. And Dennis brought it up. He's getting out there on special teams a little bit. And Kotkaniemi was doing things that so often when I've looked for it, he's left me empty-handed. He just turned 25. What if Kotkaniemi wakes up? This is preseason, right? This is optimism time. Everybody's 0-0. Everybody's thinking about the best-case scenario for their team. What if Kotkaniemi wakes up? What if all that potential? And again, I was not here yesterday. I wasn't even looking for it yesterday. One comment and everything changes. Let me ask you this, Dennis, about Kotkaniemi specifically.
All right.
Is there more or less pressure on him now that Logan Stankoven is being given a shot at 2C, second line center?
I think that's a good question. I think there is still more.
Because he wants that job and it's slipping through his fingers?
I think it's more or less the fact that they are actively trying to give that spot to someone else. Or at least trying to. Because if he had solidified that spot already, then we wouldn't be having this question about 2C for this Canes team.
Probably would be feeding Logan Stankoven on the wing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, yes, there's probably even more pressure on him because now it's, look, either you got it or you don't.
So let me put this in a different way, and this is maybe the difference. Because is he now the hunter rather than the huntee? Because for a long time, he was penciled in as he's going to get the first shot at the second line center. And then, when he struggles is when you'll bring Stahl up, or you'll at times Jankowski even but it was always
scratch like we saw last year.
Yes, and high profile scratches. But it was always Kotkaniemi was going to get the first chance, This is the first year where he's really not like first to bat for second line center, and he has to go outplay somebody rather than maybe try to avoid the dumb mistake, right? And it's just a tiny little difference in thought process that might unlock something in somebody who like physically does have potential. And that's why he was drafted as high as he was, and that's why he got the offer sheet that he did, and that's why all of these things have happened in his careers because of what the idea of him could be. And I do think that he is and should be chasing good plays more than doing everything he can to prevent bad plays, which is just a tiny little thought process different. Because when you have the job, you're thinking, if I have a bunch of turnovers or if I don't win these faceoffs or if I don't they're going to pull this job from me. When you don't have the job and you have to go earn it, you're thinking like, I got to score goals. I have to outperform him. Logan Stankoven got a goal in the first preseason game. If I want to keep pace, I have to get a goal in the second preseason game, and I have to do this, and I have to do that. And then he came out and made a statement. Now here's the golden $1 million question.
Okay.
Actually, we'll call it like, what is it, $4.8 million question?
Yeah, $4.82 million question.
The $4.82 million question. Can it be consistent?
That's the key word.
Yep.
Because we've seen stretches.
Yep.
Especially, remember correctly, towards the end of the 2023 season where he was playing extremely well. We saw a couple stretches last year. It was like 6, 7, 8 games. It's like, okay, is this the time? But then it hasn't been. Usually as soon as we're anticipating it not being there, he gives us like 4 or 5 games where it's there. And then we go, all right, there it is. And then he's like, never mind. Which is why last night was interesting, because it did seem like, again, Adam did it, and I jumped on the bandwagon. We were like, let's see it. And then it showed up, which is just not my relationship with Kotkaniemi. My relationship with Kotkaniemi is, all right, let's see it. Quiet. And then, all right, never mind, forget him. Oh, now he's playing well. That's always been my relationship with him. So last night was a little different. And it's not like he hasn't played with great players. He was playing second-line center last year at the beginning of the year with Andrei Svechnikov and Martin Necas. And Martin Necas, every time he stepped on the ice, a point was scored because of the hot streak that he had to start last year. And we didn't see somehow Kotkaniemi didn't capitalize on that. Somehow Kotkaniemi was on the floor on the ice with Necas. Necas would finish with 3 points and he'd be +6. Yeah. And Kotkaniemi would be no points. It's like, how is that even possible? I don't know. Obviously, actually, I should have said +1 million. I got to get better at my exaggeration. Yes. He wasn't actually +6, but it was Martin Necas was on an all-time heater. Kotkaniemi was around it, and it didn't rub off at all, which was a really weird place to be. So basically, I'm entertaining the idea that Jesperi Kotkaniemi can make an opening statement that changes things for this year for the young player. And I'm trying to remind myself that he's 25, not 35, because he's lived a life in the NHL already. Jesperi Kotkaniemi. There you go. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. This is not an exaggeration. Maybe I should explain that. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. I use some hyperbole, right? I go over the top. I say some exaggerations in order to have some effect in my arguments. This is not an exaggeration, although it might seem like one. You don't have to pay any closing costs on your mortgage. 0. I'm not saying 0 like, if you round down. I'm saying 0 means 0. Miller Lending offers a no-cost loan. No closing costs. 0 means 0. No third-party fees. No surcharges. None of it. And what that does is it allows you to comfortably, without waking up with cold sweats about, oh, no, I just paid all those closing costs and rates are going to drop. You don't have to worry about it, because if they drop, that's good for you. Refinance, no money out of your pocket, no cost, no fees. Just call Miller Lending, make it happen. Get the lower monthly payment. And if it happens again, do it again and again and again. And if rates go up, you don't have to wake up in a cold sweat like, oh, no, what am I going to do? I didn't get my mortgage, because you locked it in with no costs and fees already. It is the best of both worlds, as they say. Miller Lending wants you to have the best of both worlds, so give them a call. 919
919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. You can also visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We have the Dean's List coming up next. I'll tell you this. Somehow, some way, I've worked Tim Tebow into the Dean's List. Stick around.
Ready to rule the road in a brand new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee L? It's the Drive into Fall sales event at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. And you can take up to $11,000 off MSRP. That's right, luxury power and legendary Jeep capability for up to $11,000 less. See dealer for details. John Heister has the largest inventory and best selection in the area to choose from. So get off your keister and get to Heister today. John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
A give to Castle. Nope, Mitz a throw. Going for Barcade. He's got it! Touchdown!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Thursday, the football 5-day weekend starts tonight in a couple different ways. There's obviously Thursday night football in the NFL. There's also ECU Army. That may work its way into the Dean's List. May work its way into the Dean's List a little bit here.
By the way, speaking of that, that's 7 o'clock coverage tonight, ECU Army, but 6 o'clock Wolfpack Weekly.
There you go. So you're saying Wolfpack Weekly immediately after this show at 6 o'clock,
6 o'clock.
for NC State football fans that want insight from Dave Doran, and then college football fans of every variety. There's ECU hosting Army tonight, later on after that here on 99.9 The Fan. And could you, if you were so inclined, listen to both of those on the 99.9 The Fan app as well?
That you can.
There you go, 99.9 The Fan. Download the app. It's brand new still, less than a month old. The Triangle Sports Leader has an app that can go right there on your phone. Nice little icon. It works out nicely.
You know what you can do on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app? You obviously download the brand new 99.9 The Fan
I love how we're
app.
doing this like a commercial from like 1984 where you're like, but wait, do you know what else you can do? As if we planned this. This is all, we're ad-libbing, we're improvising.
It's like the 90s, you can have this cassette, you know,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
there's more. So you can download our brand new 99.9 The Fan app or visit 999thefan.com and enter now for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Ed Sheeran at Bank of America Stadium on October 17, 2026. So that's next year, folks, 2026. But download the app. You'll see a contest tab. Go enter to win.
That sounds perfect, but I'm just thinking out loud. Ed Sheeran fans get that? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Or do you, I don't care? Yeah, okay, fine. Gives me shivers. Bruh. Thank you very much. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Yes, I just Googled his biggest songs to see how many I could work in quickly. You're all beautiful people. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the Dean's List. The ACC and the Big 12 as a unit into the Dean's List.
Okay.
Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports is reporting the power conferences are seeking to form a working group of athletic directors to explore college football playoff formats. Again, sources tell Yahoo Sports. As a launching point, according to Dellinger, Big Ten athletic directors are circulating a concept to grant each Power 4 league an equal amount of automatic qualifiers in a 20-plus team field. Now, you can agree or disagree with 20-plus teams. You can say 8's better, 12's better, 16's better. Maybe you want to go full March Madness and have a 64-team, 68-team bracket. You can have your opinions there. It is objectively fantastic that the ACC is being given even the thought of equal automatic qualifiers to the SEC and the Big Ten from somebody inside the SEC or the Big Ten. Want to stay on that level playing field as long as you possibly can. So credit to them for somehow working their way into that conversation. I don't know how much they had to tip the Big Ten ADs to float that idea as a launching point, but launch away. Next on the Dean's List. Let's just say it. ECU football. World is watching tonight.
I know.
Army's in town. That's the legit opponent. Earlier today, it was live from I think 2 to 3. They had Sports Center from Sup Dogs in Greenville. That's the world has its eyes on you right now.
It's been a lot of Thursday night football in the state of North Carolina to start the season. Was at Wake, NC State.
Yep. Which I don't hate because you get a few extra casual fans there. You might turn somebody into, like, I don't think you're creating primary fans out of casual fans, but you get those like third fans where it's like, my favorite team is so-and-so. I also kind of like so-and-so, but then I really like that team I watched on Thursday night a couple days ago. You get those casual fans for one of your players. So way to go.
Maybe a food truck catches on fire.
Hey.
Like it did Wake Forest, NC State. That game that Wake Forest NC State game had it all.
As like an athletics director or an administrator, you're like, all right, this is the front porch of our organization. Everybody's eyes are on us. Let's put our best foot forward. And like 2 minutes into the game, our food trucks are on fire. As a unit, we don't look good right now.
We had a kick return for a touchdown to start the game.
Yeah.
Then we had a thick 6 from a defensive lineman taking it back. That was all in the first quarter.
How did they get a camera so close to the Flames? It was a very, very interesting game. Do you have a Dean's Lister?
I do.
Let's hear it.
Indiana starting safety Luis Moore won his lawsuit against the NCAA. Anytime you beat the NCAA in a lawsuit, you make the Dean's List. So he actually challenged for this year of eligibility because he had spent time when he started his college football career at a junior college. It was around when COVID and everything started taking place. So he spent a few years in junior college and challenged for that eligibility to be able to continue to play the NCAA level. He won his lawsuit, so props to Luis Moore.
I have one that is built off of that. On my Dean's List are Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel, and the like.
All right, go on.
Eligibility is hanging on by a thread. And I'm worried. It's only a matter of time until there is a Tim Tebow, a Johnny Manziel, a maybe even like a Dylan Gabriel, somebody whose skill set is just very good for college and decides they want to make it into a career because they're not sure how it's going to translate to the NFL. The NCAA, as you just mentioned, lost the ruling on Wednesday, against Luis Moore. Luis Moore has, he played 3 years of junior what, Dennis? He played 3 years of football, junior what?
Junior college.
College. And now that just doesn't count. The NCAA has also ruled
different governing body.
Former G League Ignite player Thierry Darlan, apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, is eligible to play Division I basketball at Santa Clara, according to his agent. He played years of professional basketball, and now he's going back to play in college. I think, and I've been on the forefront of it, I disagree with people. I think that players deserve to get paid in college. I think they should get as much as they possibly can. I think they should not be asked to commit to the school any more than the school is committing to them. So if a school can pull a scholarship after 1 year, they should be able to transfer wherever they want after 1 year. They should be able to do it as many times as they want. I'll advocate for more transfer windows. I think that at times goes against what I would want to have happen, but I believe players should have the rights to do it. I'm terrified of eligibility going away in college. Part of the secret sauce is you have to turn over your roster every 4 or 5 years. And part of the secret sauce is sometimes at the free throw line, you're going to have a 19-year-old, an 18-year-old freshman, and they're going to be 6 months out of taking algebra in high school, and they're going to have a game on their shoulders. Part of the secret sauce is eligibility. And the worry is that they just keep losing in court. Diego Pavia, the Vanderbilt quarterback, got an extra year. It seems like everybody that asks for more years just gets them in court. And I'm nervous. Because what's going to stop somebody like Tim Tebow from just saying, I love the Florida Gators so much. I don't know if my ability as a passer lends itself to the NFL, so I'm just going to stay in college and win 7 Heismans.
I'm wondering if we're going to see, as a way to combat this, a blanket rule in college sports. Because, in college football, you can play up to 4 games and maintain a year of eligibility. You can do that one time, barring, like a catastrophic injury or something along those lines. But I wonder if you're going to see that in basketball, where you can play 8 games in college basketball to save a year of eligibility, as long as none of them are postseason games. Something along those lines.
I'd be fine with that, just because I don't get why sports have different rules like that.
Yeah.
The thing that worries me is we accepted, because of unusual circumstances, like 6th and 7th year seniors. Because of COVID, seasons were taken away, right? There was extenuating circumstances. And now when people ask for 6th and 7th years, it's like, obviously it didn't ruin the sport. They did it. And it's because I do think it'll kind of, I'm not going to be cool with it anymore. And I think it hurts the 19-year-olds. I think it hurts the freshmen, right? When you're like, well, I could, as a coach who needs to win to keep their job, I could give these reps to a young player that could develop into something, or I could give it to a 28-year-old 6th-year starter. I'm going to go to the 28-year-old 6th-year starter. Luckily, he played 4 years at JUCO and built up his skills in a pro weight room, so now I get him until he's 27, because none of those seasons count. He's working on his 4th degree. He's going to be a doctor in the spring. It's like, what are we doing here? Which, by the way, I have no problem with guys sticking around to be doctors. It's just you can't play football or basketball or tennis or baseball or anything forever. All right, that's it for the Dean's List. Let's go ahead and dismiss. So, earlier in the season, we talked about how the 3 schools in the Triangle, 3 ACC schools in the Triangle, all had one of their former players starting at quarterback this NFL season. 3 of them, one from each school, week 1 starters. Let's revisit how life is going for each of them coming up next. Stick around.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you could say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop. Right now at Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. Imagine lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let the high rates hold you back. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hello, I'm Jen, and I work in the service department with Newcomb & Company in the Triangle. I've worked at Newcomb & Company for over a decade and can tell you firsthand our comfort contract is hands down the best way to stay worry-free and comfortable in your home. In fact, the program works so well, we have over 4,000 customers who use it. Folks love it because when you sign up for the comfort contract, you get the best service Newcomb offers. We prioritize contract members with same-day service, priority scheduling, and emergency after-hours calls. So there's no waiting when your system needs help. On top of that, Newcomb & Company is a proud independent train dealer. We back exceptional train products with our expert service, and we treat your home like it's our own. It's hard to stop a train, and it's hard to beat Newcomb & Company service. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com to learn more about our comfort contract. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Phillips coming again. Maye steps up, throws. He's got Stevenson. What a catch! Down the sideline. Stevenson cuts it back, and he's still going. Ramondre to the 20.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. So I set little reminders for myself. I got a planner. You know, you go ahead a couple weeks, you write something down. Hey, check back up on this. Hey, see if this is still happening. Just, you know, for conversations on the show. So before the season, when Daniel Jones was named the starter for the Indianapolis Colts, as part of our Dean's List, which we do every day at, in the first part of the 3 o'clock hour, or second part of the 3 o'clock hour, I should say, I put Triangle College quarterbacks because that meant former NC State quarterback Russell Wilson was a week 1 starter for the Giants. Former UNC quarterback Drake Maye, who's playing against the Panthers this week, was a day 1 starter for the Patriots, and Daniel Jones, Duke quarterback, day 1 starter. So they each had one. So I put them all on there. It was a fun little conversation. And I looked at my planner and I put like, hey, check back up, see how they're doing. And I thought this was a good week when I was putting it in my notes because Drake was playing against the Panthers. And then today when I got to work, looked at my little rundown, and I was like, oh, let's do it. And I think it's a great way, looking at these 3 over the last 3 games. They've only played 3 games this year. It's a 17-game season, so we're, just a couple steps into a marathon. Those 3 show exactly why NFL quarterbacks are constantly under pressure. And I'm gonna use those 3 as some kind of like Aesop's fable, some kind of like tortoise and the hare situation. They're going to be the characters in a story that will teach a lesson or display a lesson to young quarterbacks like Bryce Young and to those of us that scrutinize and put them under a microscope. Sometimes maybe a little harsh. Russ Wilson, Daniel Jones, Drake Maye. 3 weeks ago, think about where they were. Daniel Jones, journeyman at best, undeserving starter at worst. Most probably saw him as some kind of a placeholder until they could go back to Anthony Richardson and decide for once and all if he had the ability to reach his potential. What is he now? I mean, he's playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. If you use like fantasy statistics, he's like a top 3 quarterback in the league. He's running, he's throwing, he's Indiana Jones. He's already got a new nickname. The Indianapolis Colts, I mean, I don't know if they've done so publicly, but I guarantee you behind closed doors, they're already talking about if he keeps playing like this, how much is it going to cost us to bring him back next year? Think about that. I have a list right here of players that had a better passer rating than Daniel Jones last season before the Giants released him and he spent a little bit of time practice squad and the like with Minnesota. And all of these players played at least 7 or started at least 7 games. So this isn't like somebody came in for a fourth quarter and completed 2 passes and I'm like, better passer rating. They started at least 7 games. These players had a better passer rating last year than Daniel Jones. Mac Jones, Jameis Winston, Gardner Minshew, Will Levis, Cooper Rush, Aiden O'Connell. None of them were given a chance to start without an injury happening this season. Yet he did. And now 3 weeks later, he would feel so out of place with that group. They were better than him last year. Now let's look at Russ Wilson. Going into the season, what was he? He was the safe veteran option in what could only be described as a reality television show of a quarterback room. It was Russ Wilson, first-round pick Jackson Dart, who has some personality of his own, Jameis Winston, who you know, famous Jameis, and Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cutlets, that group. Russ was if Brian Dable and Joe Shane are gonna keep their job, Russ is gonna have to help them win. They're playing the established veteran who's a borderline Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, been to 2 Super Bowls, double-digit Pro Bowls, statistically really darn impressive. And then in his second game starting for the Giants, he threw for 450 yards. Russell Wilson has had 202 career games. Week 2 this year against the Cowboys, he threw for the second most yards he has ever thrown for, 450 yards. His career best is just 452. He was benched 9 days later. 9 days later, he was benched, and I'm not convinced he's ever going to start a football game in the NFL again. Barring injury. If somebody gets hurt, that's a different beast. But I'm not convinced somebody's going to toss him the keys to a franchise again. Borderline Hall of Famer. And then there's Drake Maye. Drake May's been kind of balling out. He's been the advanced analytics love him. He's been making plays. He doesn't have a ton of help around him. He's been working hard. He's been running for a lot of first downs. He has like 21, 22 carries. Almost half of them for first downs, rushing touchdown. But his team hasn't backed him up. There's been some drops. There's been some fumbles. He's participating in a little turnover fest there occasionally. And they're 1-2. I don't think his standing in the league has changed much at all in the first 3 games. That's the pressure. Everything I just described is the pressure that is hanging over NFL quarterbacks. In a what have you done for me lately league that doesn't play, compared to other sports, that many games per season, 3 games can dramatically change the outlook of your career. Daniel Jones, 3 games ago, no guarantee he was going to be around in Indy for the rest of the year. No guarantees he was going to be active for the rest of the year. Now he's playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and his entire financial outlook has changed, all of it. Reverse for Russell Wilson. If the Giants were 3-0 right now, he and Malik Neighbors had chemistry. Who knows what the future would look like for him? In New York City / New Jersey, in a market like that, with his fame score and his high-profile famous wife and everything that he brings, sky would have been the limit. And he probably thought, like, hey, 450 yards week 2. I know we didn't win, but I was balling. Look at me. 9 days later, he's benched. That's why it is so crucial to every game understand that somebody like Bryce Young has the world on his shoulders. 3 games from now, Bryce Young could have started the last game he'll ever start in the NFL. If it goes that south, if it goes that poorly, if it goes like it did the first 2 games of last year, he might get another shot as a backup somewhere. But think of like a Josh Rosen. He didn't get a lot of opportunities to keep starting once he left the original team. Meanwhile, think about it like this. If something clicks, he has his little Daniel Jones glow up and he has 9 total touchdowns and no interceptions over the next 3 games. Panthers might be getting ready to offer him a contract extension this upcoming offseason. That much is, and by the way, a quarterback contract extension, even if it's a bad one given out by the team, you're guaranteed, what, like 60, 70, $80 million. Like, that's what's on your shoulders. How would you treat it? Like at your job, the big promotion or the big sales presentation. If you knew, hey, I've got 3 sales presentations, 1 a week for the next 3 weeks. If I crush them, I'm going to walk away with $70 million guaranteed. If I do poorly, if I fumble, if I forget my points, I may never work in this industry again. How would you react, right? It'd be pretty nerve-wracking, wouldn't it? It'd be pretty nerve-wracking. And then there's the Drake Maye of it all, which in its own weird way is a different level of frustrating, which is you can feel like you're doing everything right. You can put in the work. You can be making the good decisions. Your coach could be saying you're on film doing great things, and 3 weeks later be neither better nor worse. Just kind of be treading water and be 1-2 and going, gosh, when is that dramatic 3-game swing going to happen for me? It's wildly high pressure filled, wildly dependent on your teammates, which is why I think like underrated is free agency decisions on where you go, maybe not going to where there's the most money, going to where there's the help and the coaches that you think can develop you, because then the big money will come on the next contract, which, by the way, there are reports out there coming into now that the myth of Danny Dimes and Daniel Jones is being told that he took less money than other offers to go to Indianapolis because he saw something there that he was into.
Yeah, something about that offense and with Shane Steichen, it really fit his skill set, which is smart on him.
Exactly.
Go to the coach and system that's going to best fit you.
In a weird way, quick side tangent.
Yeah.
Top recruit quarterbacks out there, take that into account. I know NIL money is flashy. Yep. I know $225,000 is more than $200,000, but go into a place that has plans for you, has an offense that fits you, has a sporting cast, path to playing time, all those things. Keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. These guys a lot of times can't choose. The free agents can. Russell could if he had multiple offers. Daniel Jones obviously could if he turned down other offers. Drake couldn't decide, so it's a little different. Bryce Young couldn't decide, so it's a little different. But it's important to recognize the pressure that these guys are under and the knowledge that until you become, Lamar, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, until you become one of those guys, you're not guaranteed next month, let alone next year, as a quarterback in the NFL. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So actually we can't even have on the Dean's list the Triangle School's former quarterbacks anymore because they're down to just 2 starting quarterbacks in the NFL because Russ is backing up Ole Miss. Another ACC loss to the SEC, even though, what we'll say? We'll say the Big Ten lost to the SEC.
In that case, when the Big Ten lost.
When Russ was starting, we were claiming him as the ACC. When he gets benched, what is that Wisconsin quarterback doing on the bench? Tired of that whole pack of Badgers nonsense. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99. Let's ride. Where's he riding to now?
Over here.
Mr. Unlimited. Those videos are so cringy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4 is coming up next. Don't miss it.
Hey, it's Paul Eihander from 99.9 The Fan for Clayton Homes. Fall in North Carolina, as we know, means crisp nights, football Saturdays, and big savings with the Red Tag Sales event going on now at Clayton and Oakwood Homes. It's the best time of the year to buy your dream home. And right now, prices are slashed. You can save thousands on select in-stock homes. These are move-in ready homes with huge markdowns, but only while supplies last. Like a strong defense on the field, Clayton-built homes are made to keep you covered. Designed with energy efficiency in mind, you will stay cozy this fall, comfortable year-round, and save money on bills. Check out Clayton and Oakwood Homes to see fully furnished models, explore your options, and lock in savings. And don't wait. These homes are priced to move, and when they're gone, they're gone. The Red Tag Sale going on now at Clayton and Oakwood Homes locations and online at theredtagsale.com. Terms and conditions for the Red Tag Sales event at theredtagsale.com. Available only at participating Clayton Homes family of brands retailers through 12/31. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available within certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
This sandwich, it's a complete game changer. Hello, this is Mike, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club is that juicy chicken with that toasty pretzel bun. That bun, it's crispy, cozy, just amazing. With the pretzel bun, the Dijon mustard, and the chicken, it makes that sweet, savory kind of combination. It's everything that you love about food rolled into one. It looks phenomenal. It tastes great. It's delicious.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com. And get ready for the workday.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. A few isolated showers and thunderstorms late this afternoon and evening. It's a level 1 risk, meaning that a few of those storms could produce some wind damage. A hot one out there, though, 92 the high temperature, 71 overnight tonight with a continued chance of at least some isolated showers or thunderstorms. More rain in the forecast for tomorrow. That will keep our temperatures cooler with highs in the mid-80s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 169 points to 45,952. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. You can set your watch by at 4 o'clock. We talk pigskin. Football at 4 is what we call it. Today, I am going to break one of my rules. There's something about art there, right? Like being an artist or being a scientist is knowing the rules. Being an artist is knowing when it's okay to break them. I'm breaking the rules. The key for the Carolina Panthers is winning the turnover battle. Yeah. The thing that I get mad at every other analyst, every color commentator on TV, when I accuse them of being ill-prepared or unprepared. When they go, what do you think are the keys to the game, color commentator?
Can I give you 3 right now off the top of my head?
Sure.
Well, first of all, you got to win the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
You got to win the line of scrimmage on both sides
That's
of the ball.
good.
You got to win the game in the trenches. Second one is special teams.
Okay.
Special teams got to be a factor in this game. Field position is going to matter. And the third one is take care of the football.
And the hilarity of that is it could be 9 and under Pop Warner. It could be a college
ECU
game.
Army tonight.
It could be ECU Army. It could be the Super Bowl. It could be any of them, right?
Bingo.
They're all the same.
Nailed it.
You got to start fast.
Yes.
Got to start fast.
Start fast.
Got to win the turnover battle. So, like, yes, it's a fact. It's true. Every team wants to win the turnover battle, and every coach has the numbers. There's a meeting, preseason, day before a game. There's a meeting. Well, everybody, look at this, and they bring up a chart. It's like an Excel spreadsheet. If we win the turnover battle, By one, we win 92% of the time. But we win it, and it just shows that turnovers are important. I'm putting the Panthers in a level above everybody else in needing to win the turnover battle. I'll start with the recent history. They lost the turnover battle by 2 to the Jags to start the season. They lost by 2 scores. They lost the turnover battle by 1 to the Cardinals. They lost by 1 score. They won the turnover battle by 2 against the Falcons. They won by 30. So, recent history would suggest not only do they have to win the turnover battle, but to the measure of which they win or lose the turnover battle pretty much shows how much they'll win or lose the game by. And it's important, and everyone will say it's important, so we'll let you hear it from the Carolina Panthers themselves. Here's Bryce Young on an emphasis of protecting the football.
Yeah, of course. Taking care of the ball is obviously just super important in this league. As someone who touches the ball every single play, take pride in that. It's a week-to-week league. Want to make sure that, I'm continuing to take care of the ball. We all continue to take care of the ball. And then, they're also obviously emphasize taking it away. Defense done a great job of that last week, of course. And, we talk about it a lot in the building. So we want to make sure we take care of it and take it away.
Yep. What about the coach? Heard from the quarterback. Let's hear from the coach. Dave Canales, taking care of the football.
It's an organizational belief. It's a team thing, and all the guys know that they're accountable for that. You don't carry the ball for yourself. You carry it for the whole team. And that's the language that we use. And the trust factor in, guys, when we play clean football and we can just get into our schemes, now we can have success. Now we can build a rhythm. Now we can set things up, and it really goes for both sides of it.
All right, we've now established something that we all already knew to be true is true. Protecting the football is important. I'm glad I took 3 minutes at the top of the hour to explain that. Here's why I put the Panthers on a higher level. Here's why I think it is okay to do, even though I am traditionally against this. Here's why it's okay to break the rule. The Panthers don't have somebody on their roster that I think they can ask for help when they need it to overcome the turnover battle being lost. I'm going to use I often use analogies on this show. I'm going to reverse analogy this. I'm going to come in the side door, okay? The other day I was actually on TikTok. How about that, everybody?
Okay, I see.
Our social media manager, Ashley, would be very proud. I was scrolling and trying to see what's going on in the world of media with the young people. And I got hooked on a motivational speaker. It was like a guy, I don't even know who he was, but he was obviously brought into some college football team or it wasn't even a college football team, it was a college basketball team to talk about, how they approach life. And one of the things he said was, you need to know what kind of mistake you just made when you made a mistake. And he started using football as the analogy. So I was like, oh, he's speaking my language. Look at this guy. His analogies, it's football. Let's go. He goes, there's a lot of mistakes in life that just mean you probably should have gained 6 yards and you gained 2. And that's when you got to pick yourself up, dust yourself off and say, darn, all right, it's 2nd and 8. And 2nd and 8 just means you got to lock in. You can fix that yourself, right? Go gain 8 yards on the next play and you're good. You don't need to make a big deal out of that. Right? You make a mistake at work, you can fix it yourself. Fix it, right? Don't go to your boss crying. Go to your boss and say, hey, just so you know, this happened. I already took care of it, though. Right? Bosses like people like that. So he put a little sign up and he said, 2nd and 8. Then he goes, or you have to know if it's a turnover mistake. A turnover mistake, you need to go get help. A turnover mistake you can't handle by yourself. Right? If you're a football player and you turn the ball over, you got to go to your defense. You got to go, hey, listen, I messed up. I need y'all to have my back. And that's okay too, right? That's hey, going to a family member, going to a mentor, going to a trusted boss and saying like, listen, I really messed up here and I need your help. So are you making a 2nd and 8 mistake or are you making a turnover mistake? Right? And then not being too proud to admit that it was a turnover mistake and going to fix it. And I went, all right, this is a good lesson for young people, right? You don't got to get through everything by yourself. Sometimes you got to ask for help. And right, this is where we reverse analogy it. I'm going to take this analogy and apply it to a football team. Ready? I don't think the Panthers have anyone they can ask after a turnover mistake. If the Kansas City Chiefs have a 2nd and 8 mistake, they pick themselves up, they go try to get back in phase. If they have a turnover mistake, they go to Pat Mahomes and they say, hey, Pat, I need you to be special right now. If the Philadelphia Eagles have a 2nd and 8 mistake, Jalen Hurts can throw it to Devontae Smith. They can get themselves out of it. If they have a turnover mistake, they go to Saquon Barkley and say, Saquon, you were a 2,000-yard rusher. We need you to go out there and be special. If the Panthers have a 2nd and 8 mistake, I think they're more than capable dusting themselves off, finding a way to get the first down. If they have a turnover, I don't know who they go to. Because I don't want to go to Bryce Young and say, hey, listen, I need you to be special. I don't want him pressing to be special. I want him trying to make the right decision. I don't think you go to Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard's not career long, but his season-long rush is 14 yards. I don't think you're going to that guy like, hey, I need you to bail me out right now. I made a really big mistake. I need you to come help me. I don't think the Panthers have that. So they do need to be a little bit more careful than some other teams, right? They don't have, and some teams have 3 or 4 of them, right? Ravens make a mistake, they can go, hey, Lamar, then go, hey, Derrick Henry, then go, like they've got other guys to go bail them out. I just don't see that on the Panthers, and I'll throw this word out there as well, yet. Right? You hope Tet McMillan ends up being that. You hope some of these guys can end up being that, but they're not there yet. So when they get behind in a turnover battle, I don't see many ways that they can make up that difference.
Yeah, they're not good enough to make up that mistake.
They're not good enough, and they don't have those, one-play guys that'll swing everything back into their favor.
And I don't know if their defense as a whole, if they turn the ball over, their defense as a whole on a consistent basis on a sudden change can go, all right, we'll only give up a field goal.
I don't think they're that good.
Yeah, as a whole.
And I don't think they are the type of defense, and there are some of them out there, and sometimes it's the coordinator, sometimes it's the skill set of the defense, who can go, press the issue to get turnovers. I think at best, the way the Panthers are situated now, they are opportunistic in turnovers. If the opposing team makes a mistake, they can go capitalize on it, but they aren't, they don't have their Peanut Tillman, right? They don't have the peanut punch. They don't have their wildly impressive ball hawk safeties. They don't have the guys that can go press the issue and maybe be a little bit more aggressive to even up the turnover battle. So while, yes, it is true, and that's why I started this conversation the way I started this conversation. Every team from a 5-year-old flag football team all the way up through the Super Bowl, every team is going to put an emphasis on winning the turnover battle. Certain teams have elements of their roster, elements of their game plan, elements of their just identity that make it possible that if they make a couple of big mistakes, they can make it up. I don't think the Panthers are that team, and I don't think that's an insult to say. I think they need to double-check and triple-check everything. And the hardest part about it is you can't play scared while doing it. It's playing smart, not scared. It's all of the cliches. You can't, curl up into a shell and not do anything. But any reckless decision has to be coached out of them quickly because they just don't get the other side of it, right? If you're making high-risk, high-reward plays, you're going to build in some of the losses, but you recognize the high rewards will hopefully make it up in the other side. I don't see the Panthers. The Panthers are like any risky play is a high risk for medium reward. And actually, I'll even throw Tet McMillan in there because Tetairoa McMillan, I'm a big fan of. I think he's going to have a great career. I think he's going to be uber productive. The few times we've seen him catch a ball on the run, and I'm like, oh, this could be it. He doesn't have that breakaway speed, or at least he hasn't shown it yet to go turn the 30-yard catch into the 60-yard touchdown. And without that, it's hard to make up those big blunders. I hope I did enough to show why I broke my own rule there, and you guys don't punish me for it. Turnover's bad. A little more than that, but that's the gist. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the way, download the 99.9 The Fan app, which we've been talking about. Go on there. We're doing a giveaway. Speaking of the Carolina Panthers, Xavier Legette signed jersey.
Yep.
Head to the app. Head to the app. Xavier Legette signed jersey. We put a video up on social media about it where Dennis actually holds up the jersey. You can see it. It's a sharp-looking jersey.
It's an authentic one.
Authentic. It's got the little details and, look pretty darn cool, framed up in a man cave or a woman cave of some kind in your Panthers room, wherever you watch the games. If you got a bar area, something like that. But to win it, you got to go to the app. It's for the I think we're calling them early adopters, but it's really just those that get there and sign up and register and give us your email in the early parts of our app, which we are still in. So head to the App Store, the Google Play Store, depending on which kind of phone you have. App Store for the iPhone. Android can go Google Play Store, or you can also just go to any of our social media bios, click links. It'll show you there. Go there, download the app, give us 5 stars wherever you download it. We'd appreciate it. Give us a nice little review. Say, hey, this is awesome. Something more elegant than that. And
even if it's just that, that's fine.
You know what?
Actually, that's just all we need.
Yeah, hey, that's awesome is fantastic as
all
well.
we need.
Register. Make sure you give an email that you check. That's what I keep reminding people. I know some, and maybe me, have an email that you can access, but you don't often. It's kind of where you send all your junk mail, and you're like, that way it's there, but I don't always have to have that coming into my main email. If you don't check it, don't use it, because that's how we'll notify you that you win. We'll send in, we'll say, hey, you want a Xavier Legette signed jersey. If it's in your junk mail, if it's in your other email and you don't check it for a certain amount of time, we will give that jersey away to someone else. So download the app, plug in an email that you use, make your profile, enjoy the streaming, enjoy the podcast, enjoy the blogs, enjoy everything that we're doing on the app, and you might win yourself a signed jersey.
Also, we have more stuff to give away. This is how you can sign up through the app and all that as well. When you download our brand new 99.9 The Fan app or visit 999thefan.com, you can enter now for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Ed Sheeran at Bank of America Stadium on October 17, 2026. That's October next year.
Should I do the thing with the puns about the – no, I won't. I was going to just use all of his big songs and put it in there. But that's just a bad habit. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with the ladder challenge, and we have cons and cons. What are you most confident in and most concerned about for the ACC teams, football teams, that is, in the area? Stick around.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
It is I, Juan Carlos Santiago del Santiago, the coolest man in the world. Yes, I am back in Raleigh. Do I go downtown with so many places to party? No, I go to the Shocky's place. The good food, the fine drinks, the coldest of beers, and of course, the many, many beautiful people. I always hang at the Shocky's place, the coolest bar in the world, because, well, it was built for me. Juan Carlos Santiago del Santiago, the coolest man in the world. The Shocky's place, 8800 de Raleigh Road by the Shelley Station.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us, with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended, balance due if you pay off earlier, cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro, 256 gigs, $1,099.99, and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Don't miss Bailey's Fall Antique and Vintage Jewelry Show October 7th through 11th. Search through hundreds of vintage necklaces, rings, bracelets, earrings, and more to discover your unique jewelry treasure. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry on October 7th in Rocky Mount, October 8th in Greenville, October 9th in Cary, or October 10th and 11th in Raleigh's Village District to find your perfect piece of jewelry history. Visit BaileyBox.com for details.
It's Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances and save an additional $1,000 when you buy 4 select LG major appliances. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt Max 5 amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt 20-volt Max tool. Get the job done for less at Lowe's. We help. You save. Valid through 9/26. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See associate or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
Bailey, waist-high snap. Lofts it left side of the end zone. Touchdown, NC State. C.J. Bailey waits, surveys the landscape, and fires a dart to Terrell Anderson.
This is The Drive here on 99.9 The Fan. It's Thursday, the start of the 5-day football weekend, as I call it. Thursday night football tonight. Obviously, high school football dominates on Fridays, college football of all kinds, and also Thursday night football, meaning ECU Army as well, not just the NFL. Saturday is obviously dominated by college football. We have some solid matchups over the weekend. Sunday NFL, Monday night, 5 straight days of premier football action. And throughout all of that, we continue with the ladder challenge. So Dennis and I will square off, gambling-wise, once again.
Oh, my God! And for the 20-foot ladder with a spear on Jeff Hardy. For the love of God, Jeff Hardy may be broken. Smack dab in half.
So yesterday I had a winner. I had Paul Skeens, 5 or more strikeouts versus the Reds. He finished with 7. Nice, easy winner. My analytics paid off. I'm up to, after having to restart with a bad miss, I'm down back up to $13.30. Dennis, how'd it go for you?
I had Max Fried of the New York Yankees having at least 4 strikeouts yesterday. He had 7, so I'm up to $32.97.
I am chasing you, and hopefully you will mess up and come back to me. As the leader, you get to lead off for today, so go ahead.
All right, pretty simple prop here. So I'm going to go with Kyler Murray. This is a passing stat, all right? Kyler Murray passing yards today against the Seattle Seahawks. Kyler Murray, 150-plus passing yards today. It's a minus 850. So my $32.97 will turn into $36.84.
So if your bet wins, I think mine has a pretty good chance of winning.
Okay.
I'm also looking at Thursday Night Football in the NFL today. And this is one in multiple different parlays and things. I have some version of this. Trey McBride, the tight end for the Cardinals, is a monster. I have him for 4 or more catches versus Seattle tonight. It is minus 920. He has at least 6 catches in every game this year. He had 111 catches last year as a tight end. That's massive. But here's where, again, my research and my analytics make it a little bit nerdier. Through 3 games, Seattle has allowed the most catches to tight ends of any team in the league. They have 24 catches allowed, 180 yards, and 3 touchdowns just to tight ends. And that includes George Kittle, who I believe got hurt against them. So they've given up quite a few bits of production to tight ends, and now they're facing, I would say, like pretty comfortably a top 4 or 5 tight end in the league. When it comes to pass catching, probably pretty comfortably top 3 in the league. And he's a volume guy. Kyler Murray loves checking it down to him, so give me 4 or more catches for McBride. That's minus 920. Won't retire the grandparents on it by any stretch, but can't go broke making a profit, and that's kind of the idea of the ladder challenge. Turn my $13.30 into $14.76.
By the way, you and I have very different approaches when it comes to the ladder challenge. I kind of look and go, yeah, that makes sense.
And
that's all it is. You're like, they give up the most to tight ends. I'm like, nope, not me.
And by the way, in gambling, there's a lot of different ways to approach it.
Oh, for sure.
Vibes, narratives, numbers, randoms. Sometimes it's just about the You don't really care what the bet is when you're watching a game. You just want something on the line. You just want something to root for. Which, by the way, hopefully Kyler Murray scores a touchdown tonight. I may just be interested in that because it seemed like a good number when I was looking at it earlier today. Let's go Kyler Murray. Also, do you know what gambling does? Gambling shows you. This is like, what's the saying? If you want to know what your heart wants in a decision, flip a coin. Not because you'll like the heads or tails will decide, but because when it's in the air, you'll know what you're hoping for. If you want to know which team you think is better in a matchup, just go look at the numbers, right? Go to whatever sportsbook app you have and go. For me, that's going to be DraftKings, and you're going to go scroll around, look at the props, and the ones that you just keep coming back to, you're like, oh, guess what? I think the Cardinals are going to have a good day. I didn't know that going in, but I was very intrigued by all the Trey McBride overs. I was very interested in the Kyler Murray overs. I was even a little tempted to think they were going to go Marvin Harrison Jr. because I think he struggled so much last game, had some very high-profile drops that they might force it to him to get him back on track. So I think the offense, I guess, for the Cardinals, specifically the passing offense, because their starting running back got hurt last week, is going to have a big day. Apparently that means I don't like Seattle very much. At least not for tonight. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll see if I'm right. Hopefully, I'm at least right with Trey McBride over 4 catches, because that'll mean the ladder challenge stays alive. With that being said, looking at both sides of the coin, that's another way to say cons and cons.
But to play great defense, you need one thing above all else.
That starts with a W.
Confidence.
Cons and cons. That time of the week. What are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about? We put different teams into the cons and cons game here, and we decide those two things. Most confident, most concerned. Today, we've chosen to do the 3 Triangle ACC football teams. And as always, when we've chosen this category, Dennis, you get to pick the order.
Let's go podium finish from top to bottom. So Duke was top of the podium this week, so let's go Duke.
Duke, what are you most confident? What are you most concerned about? Well, when somebody says I have good news and bad news, which do you want first? You always take the bad news. We start with the concern. It's funny. This is kind of your strategy. This is a gut instinct pick.
Okay.
I'm concerned about their running game.
All right.
Which is a gut feel, gut check thing for me, because if you look at the numbers aren't bad. It's just when I watch, it never looks like it should work, right? Like Anderson Castle has a few breakout late long runs in games where, it's kind of back and forth that make their overall stats look better. And I'm just going like, I don't know. For most of the game when the score was close or when, the teams were playing the high leverage snaps, they didn't have that. And I know they got it late and you can't just take it away, but I just watch them and I every single time they hand it off, I'm going, that's a missed opportunity to let Darian Mensah throw, which isn't the way to have a balanced offense at all. It's just how I feel about their running game. So until I see a little bit more pop out of their running backs specifically, I'm concerned about their running game when it comes to maybe later in the season, maybe if it gets colder, maybe if there's a weather game or a team just decides to sit back and two-shell and take away all the pass. I'm a little concerned about their run.
For me, my concern when it comes to Duke football right now, defensively, they give up too many big plays. That's been a big thing for these first few games, especially against Tulane. They gave up big plays. Illinois, big plays. Even against NC State, they gave up a lot of big plays. Now, I know they came up with a few against NC State. Obviously, the interceptions and everything were all crucial, but they give up a lot of big-time plays on defense.
Now the fun part for Duke. What are you most confident in for the Duke Blue Devils? I think the obvious is Darian Mensah. He's playing really well, but I'm going to zero in. I'm fascinated by what I'm calling his pro quality. He just carries himself like the CEO of the organization, and maybe it's because he's getting paid like the CEO of an organization. But it's a business trip for him most of the time when he's out there on the field. And I'm not saying he's not having fun. I'm not saying he's not enjoying his time with his teammates. I'm just saying that it doesn't seem to get too high, too low. He just keeps going out there and trying to execute, and a mistake doesn't rattle him as much, but a great play doesn't get him overinflated. It goes back to what we said at the ACC kickoff. He was my pick for a guy that just kind of commanded the room involuntarily. Just had a magnetic feel to him. So Darian Mensah's pro quality is what I am most confident in for Duke.
For me, for Duke, when it comes kind of along those same lines, for Darian Mensah, this is my confidence. It's his poise. That's really what kind of carries. It's a similar type thing. It's his poise in the pocket. He doesn't seem to get flustered when the team is behind. That's always going to help carry you in games for sure. There's a reason why they've been in just about every game.
I had this in my notes and I didn't tell it, and I think it's a good way to describe this. When we interviewed Darian Mensah at ACC kickoff, right, the scheduling is always kind of crazy at ACC kickoff. Players and coaches are coming and going in every direction. And the opening, we had to interview Manny Diaz and Darian Mensah, so the head coach of Duke and the quarterback of Duke was the same. So we said, we got extra headsets, sit them both down, right? Let's talk to them at the same time. Usually when that happens in an interview, you have the head coach and a player. It feels very deferring, like the player is just echoing whatever the coach says, right? It's very just, the coach is here. I'm going to say, like, everything I say is going to be a quote that the coach has said to the team already. But it didn't feel that way. It almost felt like peers when Darian Mensah was sitting there. Like, they each took ownership of the whole deal, and that's rare in college. I guess maybe not as much anymore. You could have like an 8th-year senior that's been on campus for a billion years, and that could be different. But Darian Mensah and Manny Diaz, I know they're not, right? There's a hierarchy. The head coach, is higher. But it felt a bit more like peers than coach-player, which happens in the NFL, right? Like Sean Payton and Drew Brees didn't feel like one of them was more powerful than the other, right? They both had their fingerprints all over that offense. I kind of had that vibe from Mensah. What team's up next, Dennis?
So we're going from top to bottom down the podium. We had NC State second on the podium this week. They had silver, so we'll go NC State next.
Concern, Dennis, you can lead off on this one.
Defense. I don't think they can get a stop when they need it. Yep. they can't get a stop when they need it. They needed a stop against Duke this past week. They couldn't seem to get it. I mean, I say that against better competition because, to be fair, against
their first
Virginia,
2 games, they had only pretty much the stops that they needed and nothing more.
I mean, I will say, okay, again, I'll provide a little context. They did get a 4th and 1 stop against East Carolina late. They did get the interception late against Virginia, but they're constantly in shootouts. Where's the time in a game where they get a couple stops in the second quarter that gives good field positioning for the offense? They can't consistently, I guess I'll rephrase this. They can't consistently get off the field. That's it. They can't consistently get off.
Mine is in the same family, but it's a little different. It's a cousin of yours. My concern for State is their pass defense. And it was a point we made on Pack Therapy, which, by the way, new episode for this week out. Pack Therapy podcast. I co-host it with Mike Lennon, NC State legendary quarterback. Pass defense, I think a lot of people use interchangeably with secondary. You think like the secondary is all responsible for stopping the pass. It's more than that. It's the pass rush. It's linebackers dropping into coverage to help. It's play calling. Their pass defense as a whole has left a lot to be desired. And I don't want to put that all on like, hey, this corner can't cover this receiver. Sometimes it's this corner can cover the receiver, but not for 7 seconds. Sometimes it's, hey, this corner can cover this receiver, but he's being asked to do it on the backside on an island when he might need a little help from the safety over the top. And then sometimes it's, yes, this corner can't cover that receiver on that play or got lazy for that play. So their pass defense as a whole, right, like Wake Forest, who's not a great passing offense. Hit them for a couple big plays through the air. Can't let that happen. You can't fall asleep or get lulled to sleep because you're playing a run-first offense. You play a team like Duke, and they're able to come back because they're throwing the ball all over the field. There's the entirety of the pass defense needs to be better. I don't think you'll get crushed this weekend against Virginia Tech. I don't think you'll get crushed the next weekend against Campbell. But there are passing offenses that will light you up if your pass defense isn't on your P's and Q's. Confidence for State. Dennis, again, lead off.
Have you seen their offense?
I have. I have. So you're really like you're broad. The concern defense, confidence offense.
Well,
This is like the Fouts era Chargers. This is Big 12 football.
I know.
This is Bengals. This is exactly what we're going for.
But I'll be more specific. It's that they have such a diverse skill set with their skill players that anybody can be the number one guy on a given night. We've seen Wesley Grimes put up big days. We've seen Noah Rogers put up big days. Justin Jolie, Terrell Anderson, Keenan Jackson. Hollywood Smothers has been consistent all season. Obviously, we know what C.J. Bailey can do. When it comes to their skill guys, they have such a diverse group of skill players that they can beat you in multiple ways on any given day. So if a defense wants to try and shut down one player or is built to beat one guy, someone else is going to cook them. It's as simple as that.
My confidence is C.J. Bailey.
All right, that's it.
No, here's what it is. I feel a bit. There's a meme that goes around for those of you that are like deep in the sports media world. Ryan Russillo, one of the OGs, hosts a podcast for The Ringer, where he almost always says, like, when somebody plays poorly, the meme of him is, I actually came away more impressed with blank fill in the blank person that didn't play well, and then he twists himself into a pretzel to come up with reasons why it's more impressive. C.J. Bailey had 4 turnovers against Duke. I actually came away more impressed with C.J. Bailey. Not really. But I've never met a quarterback that reached lofty heights without having to learn a few lessons the hard way. I think quarterback is one of those spots where the 4 turnover day does way more for your development than any 3 touchdown, no turnover day ever will. You need to see the basement before you get to the penthouse to play quarterback, and there you go. That's his day, right? That's his day. The thing you hope for is that, you know, your horrendous day where you learn all the lessons the hard way, like you're able to win like 17-13 or something, or it can happen on a non-primetime game or something, not against a rival. But you can't always choose when it pops up. And you know, he faced his panic situation. He dealt with it the way he dealt with it. I think he'll be better moving forward, and that'll be one of those days where you look back and you go, yeah, that was rough. But because of that, he was better moving forward. And that leaves us with North Carolina on a bye week this week, but they're not on a bye from cons and cons. Dennis, what are you most concerned about for the Carolina Tar Heels?
Yes. That's kind of the let's be honest, if we're being for real about it. My biggest concern about Carolina right now is that we don't.
You can see him like limiting it one by one. It's like, all right, I got 13. All right, 12. Not that one. All right, we're eliminating it. And, okay, this is the last one.
Let me blind rank all these concerns here real fast. My biggest concern when it comes to Carolina is that we don't know what a Bill Belichick UNC football, what's their identity? There's no semblance of any sort of identity about what direction that program is actually going under Bill Belichick. No semblance at all.
My coach used to say, well, what do you major in?
Yeah.
He would tell us, like, we want our offense to major in read, keep, run game, and play action off of it. That's what we want to major in. And I don't know what Bill Belichick's teams want to major in.
No idea.
On defense, maybe it's becoming more clear they want to be multiple and they want to try to confuse you. And their defense has tried that. Worked against lesser opponents. Hasn't worked nearly as well against the quality opponents. But I have no idea what the offense wants to major in. I guess it would be like intermediate throws outside the hash to the left. And that might be a little too specific of a major.
That's very niche.
I want to major in the Mesozoic era dinosaurs, or herbivores. It's like, all right.
It's like Renaissance era art.
Yeah, Renaissance era art, red color, paint. My concern for UNC, and this is going to come across as if I'm joking, but I am not. The forward pass. I am concerned about their ability to be effective throwing the ball forward. They're dead last in the ACC in pass yards per game. They're dead last in the ACC in pass yards per attempt. It doesn't get much better the more you look at it. There's not like those redeeming qualities, but actually on third down, they're pretty good. Like there's not many oases in a desert of they're not throwing the ball well. And maybe Max Johnson gets a chance to go in there and make it work. He's gotten, in 2 games, in 2 of the 3 games they've played, he's gotten at least a decent amount of run. 2 of the 4 games they played, because they've been either injuries or blowouts. But they're not good enough to be one-dimensional, right? If you're going to be like a Wisconsin 2004 offense and you're just going to run the ball and you don't have to throw it, you better be able to run the ball like you have, Melvin Gordon or who, Wisconsin always had a guy that was getting like 400 carries. Yeah, Ron Dane. There we go.
There's a name for you.
I'm blanking on another one. Monty Ball.
Ball.
You better
Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor. Jeez. You better be able to run the ball like you have them, and they don't. So you better be able to be balanced, and they're not. That's what I'm getting at. Confidence. What are you confident in for the Tar Heels?
They have a bye week to settle things down and try and figure it out. Like, you get an extra week to kind of sit down and regroup and refocus and figure out, all right, what the hell are we?
My confidence is very similar. The spotlight should fade.
Fair.
Right now, and actually I don't even say right now, the early part of this season, lights were too bright for that team. Starting TCU, Monday Night Football, no other game on. Every fan, casual fan, and person who happened to be in the room with a casual football fan, everybody was watching Carolina TCU. They were not ready for it. They weren't. And then everybody was looking for the first win. And then everybody was looking for the first home win. And then everybody was looking for, you're on the cover of Us Weekly. And everybody was talking to every former Patriot about, why is this happening? And everybody was... Bye week, that team needs desperately to go work in the shadows, to go back to the drawing board. The novelty, I think, of Bill Belichick is wearing off a bit. There's no more I wonder if they're going to be unbelievably good. I wonder if he's going to coach circles around everybody in college. There's none of that anymore. There's none of that curiosity. They need to go work really, really hard away from the spotlight. And I'll put it's similar for the Arch Mannings, right? Where it's okay, spotlight got really bright there, didn't it? Kind of got in your eyes. You got a little confused. Go work really, really hard in the shadows, where if you play great, people maybe don't give you all the praise in the world. But guess what? If you make a mistake, they might not notice that either. And that's a good spot for you to play around and figure out what you are. So it's almost like my confidence is everybody's going to get bored with you a little bit. And a bye week, right, out of sight, out of mind, might help you a little bit. So there you go. That's a little cons and cons for you. Little confidence and concerns for you here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll hear from many of you in something we call a feedback frenzy. Stick around.
ECU Pirates football tonight. ECU battles Army.
There he goes, London Montgomery at the 40 to the 30, twisted out of bounds at the 25-yard line. See where they mark him out finally at the 21-yard line. This time the fake of the head up. Hauser keeps it, dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Pirates. Finally get a touchdown in the game.
Pre-game starts at 7. Kickoff at 8 on 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle's home for college football.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS NMLS 166-171 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent Trane dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company. Your comfort is our business.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Give to Dowdle, barges across the goal line for a Panther touchdown.
Great win for the boys. Great win for the Panthers.
Great win for the boys. Coach,
that's how we started his presser on Monday. Hey, great win for the Panthers. Good win for the boys.
You can enjoy it too, Coach. You're part of that squad.
I feel great about playing football right now.
Don't separate. Actually, if you don't know by now that wins in the NFL are hard to come by, you need to agree to celebrate every single one, because there's no guarantee you're going to have a whole bunch of them this year or any year. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Go download the app. Go subscribe to our YouTube. I've been neglecting telling you to do that. Subscribe to our YouTube. We have some cool things. We're coming up here on 20,000 subscribers pretty soon on the YouTube. And if you've been one of the OGs, one of the originals that have been subscribed for a while, that have been subscribed to our YouTube for a while, you know that when we hit big milestones like 20,000 YouTube subscribers, we give stuff away. We did it at 10,000. We did it at 15,000. And then we'll probably, wink, wink, definitely be having something cool to give away at 20,000. So tell your friends, right? If you want to win something cool, tell your friends, tell your family to go subscribe to our 99.9 The Fan YouTube.
And by the way, we are just under 500 away from hitting that 20,000 mark. We're at 19,468, folks. So,
and how long it takes us to get there is up to you.
We have cool stuff to give away.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this one. I know I say this a lot, like, hey, this is going to be a cool prize. If it's true, I'm going to keep saying it.
We've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
We have, actually.
I've seen the prize, and you're definitely going to want this one.
I've seen it.
All right, let's get to a feedback frenzy.
Might get in trouble on that one.
All right, so Dennis peruses the internet. He finds the comments on things like our YouTube page, which is why I was talking about it. Different conversations we've had, reactions and feedback from all of you. He picks his favorites. We bring it on the air. We react in real time. Dennis, what do we got?
All right, so we actually are going to go to our YouTube live chat. Our man D. Ely, who loves always commenting on the Carolina Hurricanes. Shout out to D. Ely. D. Ely says, just literally right at the top of the show, all caps with exclamation points, Ryan freaking Suzuki. He's very much a Ryan Suzuki stan, not just a fan.
What's his name? Ely. Ely's the last name.
D. Ely. Yep.
Ely, you are on such an island with this Ryan Suzuki love.
Yeah.
That when he scores, like he did last night, or when he is named an AHL All-Star, or when he is in the news of any kind, you are the first person that pops into my brain. Mm-hmm. You as a commenter, because there are so few that are advocating for Ryan Suzuki in the way that you are. That I kind of respect your grind. I don't agree with you. I'm a fan of Suzuki for his role in the entire franchise, like just a stable AHL player.
Play in the organization, yeah.
But I disagree with a lot of the other things you feel about where he should be or how he should be used, and thus you are who I like. When I saw the goal yesterday, my first thought was, are they fighting before that goal even hit the net? And then my second thought was, oh, Ely. I have nothing to add there. We've debated enough about Ryan Suzuki.
All right, so actually, speaking of Ryan Suzuki's goal that he had yesterday, this one actually comes from Brandon R. on our YouTube live chat. It says, that was the most entertaining goal I've seen in a long time. We got a point shot going in, obviously the deflection in front by Suzuki, while a fight is happening in front of the net. And also, I forget who else also chimed in on that. Actually, D. Ely said he loved how Giovanni Smith celebrated, like put his one fist up in the air to see, yeah, we scored a goal just before he actually starts trading punches.
Yeah, I mean, what preseason hockey.
For real.
Preseason hockey. But also, you know what? I understand, and I've had this evolution that we've tracked on air. For most of my life, hockey fighting was, to me, ridiculous. But being embedded in the way I am, covering a professional team, every period, I got to get on my football talk, every period, every possession being something that I'm tracking now, I get why it is a thing, right? It's kind of how the sport self-governs, and it can be an energy thing. I don't understand why you need a guy out there just trying to fight everybody in the preseason. The preseason has to come with some kind of social contract that you're just everybody's trying to get out of there healthy. Maybe I'll come around on it over time, and it's a extra layer of protection, but I don't know, you just scored. Can't you just go like, Yahoo, we scored, and not pummel each other?
Well, that was happening even as the face-off was taking place.
It's all decided, and the whole, you gotta ask the question and drop the gloves, and they were dropping as the puck. I get it. It just seems like Smith is going out there with this. I don't think I'll understand it in the preseason. I don't, unless somebody headhunts Aho or something, in which case, yeah, preseason penalties, who cares? Go nuts. But there's I don't know. I just don't get the logic.
All right, so yesterday we had our friend Chris Mason from Mass News Live, who covers the New England Patriots, among some other things up in the Boston area, but has been on the Patriots beat for a while. So we talked to him about Drake Maye, about the Patriots playing the Panthers this weekend and so forth. And this comes from our YouTube. Comes from our YouTube chat for that video. This one comes from Bandit Man. Great name, Bandit Man. Bandit Man said, I think I'd take Drake Maye over Bryce Young right now.
Yeah. This is a bit of Ring of Honor complex, which is one of my theories here, which is when somebody tries to put let me pick a good one. Donovan McNabb or Tony Romo into the Hall of Fame, and I'm going like, now you're out over your skis, so you're setting me up to seem like a mean guy because I'm going to go, of course they're not a Hall of Famers, even though I think they should be in the Ring of Honor for their individual franchise. I think Tony Romo should be in the Ring of Honor for the Cowboys. I think McNabb should for the Eagles. So I'm saying they're like of the best 1% of the 1% of NFL players, but you're making it seem like I'm mean because you're putting them in the top 1% of the 1% of the 1%, and they don't belong there. So, I've seen this question a bunch leading into this week. Bryce Young or Drake Maye, who you got? And I'm going, oh, you're setting me up to be mean. Because it's obviously Drake Maye. For a few reasons. One, physical ability. Bigger, taller, stronger. I don't know if he's faster, but he plays faster. Two, we haven't seen as much negative. He hasn't put as much bad on tape. Three, statistically, he's been better. And he's younger, and he has less experience. That doesn't mean I don't like Bryce, right? But you're making me choose between a guy who I think is one of the rising stars in the league and a guy who you're trying to rehab into being a solid starter. It's the answer is Drake Maye, but I think the meanness was asking the question.
I know you and I actually earlier today, before when we were planning the show and everything, you and I actually looked up. I found some stuff online.
Oh yeah,
regarding some different advanced numbers regarding Drake Maye and Bryce Young and so on and so forth. Really, just every quarterback across the league. And Drake Maye, far and beyond, has been way more efficient and more accurate and just overall better than Bryce Young has been, especially this season.
I will say, small sample size. 3 games
for sure.
But right now, in most efficiency metrics, throwing the ball, if you look at the different graphs and things, Drake Maye's neighbors are Pro Bowlers perennially.
It's like Justin Herbert and
It's
Josh
Herbert,
Allen.
yes. And Bryce Young's neighbors are the other young, struggling quarterbacks, thinking Penix, McCarthy, Young. So that's the neighborhoods they're living in from an efficiency standpoint, quarterbacking this year. So the answer is Drake Maye. But again, that doesn't mean I dislike Bryce, just like I don't dislike Penix or McCarthy. They can all turn into something. It's just right now it's not a fair fight.
By the way, you mentioned earlier about the Carolina Hurricanes and when Ryan Suzuki scored, how you always think of D. Ely, our man in the YouTube chat. Our guy Brandon R. says, and when there's a fight, I think of our guy Micah.
Yes.
yes.
Every
by
time.
the way, shout out to Micah. Micah in our YouTube live chat yesterday predicted Giovanni Smith versus Ben Harper fight yesterday in our YouTube live chat. And I sent him a DM. I said, dude, you called it again.
The first fight he predicted, I was wildly impressed. Now I think it might be like minus 10,000 that Giovanni Smith is gonna fight in any game.
For real.
It might not be that impressive of a prediction. I was unaware of Giovanni Smith's game, which was, I guess he just drops the gloves every single game he's in there. And you go from there. So I was impressed by Micah, but now I think Micah may have he's been in the know. Like it's like, oh, Cal Raleigh's going to hit a home run. It's like, yeah, everybody knows that's all he does. He hits home runs.
Hey, it's hit number 60 last night. All right, final one here. We had a conversation yesterday about the Carolina Hurricanes, about the Carolina Panthers needed to find their run game and really get things going with Chuba Hubbard. This one comes from Chase Johnson. Chase Johnson says, hear me out. I could be completely wrong, but what if the Panthers, what if they are showing a different game plan right now, early in the season, to retain their running back health and switch it up in the next few games and hit the ground running? I don't know. Wishful thinking.
Have you been watching Muhammad Ali, George Foreman? You think they're rope-a-doping?
Rope-a-doping?
You think they're losing the first round in order to set themselves up for the later rounds of the season? When everyone else's running backs are hurt, no tread on the tires, all of a sudden that's when the Panthers are going to give them 30 carries a game? That's what's going on here? I don't think so. Am I going to say it's completely impossible? No, but am I going to say it's wildly improbable? Yes. I just don't think you start 0-2. Like, once you're 0-2, the toolbox is emptied. All hands on deck, got to get a win. Which they did. Credit to them. But any secret plays you were keeping in the back of the playbook, they're on the table when you need to win that desperately, especially with an in-division game and everything else they were facing. But it's, I guess, not technically impossible. Thank you to everybody that participates, that comments on our YouTube videos, that joins us on social media, 99.9 The Fan on almost every social media platform. We do read all the comments. We do hang out there and appreciate all the feedback you give, even if it doesn't make it on air. It's always a possibility, though. Always a possibility. You might hear your comment on air. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on to the starting five, Dennis Cox has something for you.
I do. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've something I've been talking about with you all for about almost 2 months now about Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I'm down 37 pounds thanks to the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And I will say, when people come up to me that they meet me in public, they say, have you really lost that much weight? And I say, yeah, actually I have. And people physically have noticed a difference, over the last couple of months and how my body really has transformed. And I can visibly show people, yes, this really has worked for me. And this is the thing about Raleigh Weight Loss Center, is not just the fact that they want me to reach that target weight or you reach that target weight. They also want you to maintain it as well. Actually, I had a follow-up appointment a couple of days ago at Raleigh Weight Loss Center right there off of Wake Forest Road. And the conversation shifted from, hey, when you reach your target weight, coming up here soon. This is how you're going to maintain it. This is the plan going forward. I know so many people, and including myself, when they're trying to lose weight, they don't know what plan to follow because they just want someone to tell them, hey, if you do these things, you follow these steps, you can see results. That's what people want to hear. And that's exactly what Raleigh Weight Loss is telling you. Here's the plan. This just like sports. Here's the game plan. If we follow the game plan, we can have success. That's all Raleigh Weight Loss is doing. That's what Raleigh Weight Loss Center is literally giving you the plan. Hey, go follow this and you can have success. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506. Again, 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com if you want to get on that journey. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, heads towards the starting five in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
When you crave the best in college football action, you'll find it on 99.9 The Fan.
And a surprise onside kick for Syracuse. Perfectly executed, and they steal a possession back. Jaden Noe bunted it forward, and the Cuse have the football at midfield. Death Valley is silent.
Feel the passion of college football all season long. College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med and Preserve Services.
Today's real estate market can be a little challenging. That's why you need a company with both personal expertise and cutting-edge tools to deliver exceptional results. At Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate, innovative programs like Buy Before You Sell, Find It First, and their 100% money-back guarantee help you buy and sell with ease and seamlessly navigate every step of the home ownership journey. To learn why you should work with the #1 family-owned real estate firm in the country, contact an agent or visit howardhannatate.com.
Thank you for calling Spectrum. My name is Angie, and I'm in Orlando, Florida. How can I help you today?
Great. You're still there. It must be like 3 a.m.
We're always here 24/7. What can I do for you?
I know it's late, but I wanted to ask you about the best place to set up my router.
It's never too late. We'll have you up and running in no time.
Only Spectrum has 24/7, 100% US-based customer support. It's only everything. Spectrum fiber-powered internet. It's the fastest and most reliable internet. Go to Spectrum.com to learn more.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going, gone!
Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Scattered showers and storms remain possible tonight. I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell, and we're headed for a wet weather pattern. 72 the low. Scattered showers and storms, especially the second half of the day Friday with a high of 86. 77 on Saturday with on and off showers and storms likely.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell today, down 174 points to 45,947. Market update brought to you by, and this hour of the drive is brought to you by Bet365. When it comes to sports books, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting five. I'm looking forward to it, but I do have to correct something yesterday that I said. I may have misspoke a little bit.
All right.
I believe I said that Wolfpack Weekly would be today at 7. It's today at 6.
6. I may have even said yesterday at
Which
7.
means
I'll take that.
That's just good news. You don't have to wait as long. It'll be here earlier on 99.9 The Fan for state football fans out there that want to hear from Dave Doran, want to hear insight into the football program with the Wolfpack, and then get this. That means it'll be done a little earlier. You can listen to Pack Therapy, the podcast, as well. You can get all of your state football insight today. But that is coming up right here at 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And then tonight, the reason why it's a little bit earlier than we originally anticipated was because ECU is playing Army on a Thursday, and you can hear that right here on 99.9 The Fan. So full day of football, different versions of it, right here on 99.9 The Fan this evening. And you can catch all that on the 99.9 The Fan app, brand new app. So download it and you can listen there. Take it in your pocket. Now it's time for the starting five. Let's get to number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, so what's the latest injury news out of the Carolina Panthers? I will be honest and say yesterday, not the best day for injury news out of the Carolina Panthers. It seemed like nobody practiced. Dennis, please confirm that today was a better day.
A little bit of a better day, I guess you could say, for the Carolina Panthers. So Tetairoa McMillan, who did not practice yesterday with a calf injury, did practice today, but on a limited level, but still out there on the field. Tershawn Wharton, the defensive tackle that's been out since the Jacksonville Jaguars game where he got hurt during that game with a hamstring injury, did not play last week, did not practice yesterday, but was a limited participant in practice, which is a step in the right direction as well. Got same thing from DJ Wanham, I guess yesterday. I guess we could say this. Xavier Legette, Pat Jones, DJ Wanham did not practice yesterday, not practicing today either. Same thing with Jatavian Sanders. Jatavian Sanders is week to week with an ankle injury as well. So also one thing to add onto the injury list today, Chuba Hubbard, calf, limited participant in practice today.
I don't want to make a mountain out of a molehill, so I'm not making this into a gigantic issue. It does seem like there's an abnormal amount of hammies and calves on as far as injuries and tweaks and strains on the Carolina Panthers right now.
You know what's interesting? Is that a lot of, I think even players have been outspoken about this, but the artificial turf, the field turf at Bank of America Stadium, you hear players complain about it a lot. Now, they practice on grass, which, by the way, the grass fields there are nice as someone who's walked on
golf course stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's super nice. But maybe some of this is stemming from having to go play on turf. A lot of people don't realize this. This is the reason why you ever heard like shin splints, is that it's not... It's going from different types of surfaces. So if you're practicing on grass all week and then you got to go play on a field turf, it's just a different surface. That's where injuries can happen. That's one of the ways injuries can happen.
I don't pretend to have all the – I know there are studies done. I don't have all the numbers and analytics on how more or less likely you are to get injured on any kind of surface. But anecdotally, just from my playing career, turf doesn't give.
It does not. I hated it.
And, you know, I saw, I think it was a former player, maybe Braden Fahoku, but don't quote me on that. It was a former player on Twitter with Najee Harris's Achilles pop. It did not take long for former players to connect the dots that he played in Pittsburgh and had a ton of carries and had a ton of opportunities to get hurt, but they play on grass up there and he was okay. And then he went to the Chargers. They play on, I believe it was turf when he got hurt, and it was that quick for former players to go, there it is, it's again. I don't know if it's like like the red car theory where, you know, once you buy a red car, you're driving home, you see a ton of red cars on the road. It's not that the red cars weren't there, it's that you weren't looking for them. I don't know if it's just now players are so caught up on I want to play on grass that they notice injuries happening on turf more, but it's the most confusing thing for me is why owners don't just do it to make the players happy. Owners make so much money, and I would do it almost just to like, okay, fine, shut up. We'll give you the grass. What is it, a couple $100,000 a year? I'm making hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm a billionaire. Okay, fine, here you go. Just stop whining. But yes, it does seem like there's I don't know. And I don't have the numbers in front of me. It seems like there's a lot of calves and a lot of hammies on the Carolina Panthers. And those are unfun injuries. Obviously not as bad as like popping a knee or tearing something, but they're unfun because they just nag and they stay around. And, a month later when a guy has to outrun somebody, I'm thinking like, hold it together hamstring. Like, as he runs in a touchdown. So instead of excited, I'm like, hey, okay, is he good? Is he good? All right, he's celebrating. Yay. It just makes everything more nerve-wracking.
Pat Jones, Xavier Legette, Tershawn Wharton, all the ones dealing with hamstring injuries. Chuba Hubbard, Tetairoa McMillan, calf injuries. By the way, don't forget the quad injury for Jalen Coker as well.
Gosh, they need him
You know
back.
what the interesting thing was is that the only real big soft tissue injury we saw during the preseason was Jalen Coker's quad, but now it's like the season's ramped up. Maybe they didn't play enough preseason snaps, Tim.
And the quad was right at the end.
Yeah, that was actually during practice.
Yeah, that was basically game week. You could argue that they had already crossed the threshold this season. So it is what it is. I guess can't do anything about injuries. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together.
There he goes, London Montgomery at the 40 to the 30, twisted out of bounds at the 25-yard line. See where they mark him out finally at the 21-yard line.
ECU, Army, tonight. Thursday night, all eyes on Greenville. This is an interesting one for a few reasons. Okay? We'll start with this. Caden Hauser is 5th in the country in passing yards. 5th in the country. We're talking about the quarterback for ECU, and they haven't exactly played an easy schedule by any stretch. Secondly, it's interesting because last year Army had a little team on them. They were top 25 when ECU was kind of right at their bottom, if you will. They eventually made a really aggressive run to the end of the season, got Coach Blake Harrell, the interim coach, the permanent job. Caden Hauser established himself as their starter. But Army was 23rd ranked, 7-0 when they faced East Carolina. I believe I have this right. And they won 45-28. They were up 24 zippy at half against ECU. And Hauser was the quarterback by that time, but it hadn't quite been established. Now you're coming in the next year. Nationally televised, Thursday night, only game on in town. Sports Center was live from the bar in your college town for ECU earlier today. And guess what? ECU's favored by 4.5. Army is 1-2 on the season. So it's a different beast, and it's almost like, all right, time to get our lick back here. Right? They put it to us last year. Let's see what we can do. The matchup predictor on ESPN gives ECU a 75% chance to win at home. Caden Hauser's going to be looking to throw it around. This will be very much part of the reason I love football is there's not just one way to win. They're not even going to be playing the same sport out there. Caden Hauser is going to be trying to sling it around. He's one of the best passers in the country, and you're going to get typical Army football, which is they're going to try to run it. They're going to try to run it. Though they might try to pop a pass a little bit, but not much. Try to catch you off guard and toss one over the top. But they're going to be old school Army football.
You know what one of the best things about Army football is? Those games go by so quickly. Because
the
they're running the ball and the clock just turns. It's the best.
Which actually makes it even more impressive that they beat ECU and scored 45 points last year.
Yeah, I know.
Defense has some things they want to answer for, if you know what I mean.
Defending that option it's not fun.
Do you know this isn't the same, but it's a little bit the same. My college career, I played scout team for 1 year. Or sorry, not 1 year, 1 week. And it was because we were playing Navy, and their offense was so complicated with all the fakes and everything that we actually ran 2 scout team offenses. So we had our normal scout team quarterback, and then I was the backup quarterback, and for 3 days, a couple of periods a day, I would go down and play scout team. And we would rotate. So it'd be like A team scout team, B team scout team would go out there because we were running a triple option. We weren't a triple option team. So we needed like extra time for our scout team coach to say, you're going to fake it to him, you're going to fake it to him, you're going to fake it to him, you're going to fake pitch it to him, and then you're going to run. It was like pure chaos. Most fun I've ever had. It was pure chaos. I'm not a running quarterback. I was out there acting like I was in NCAA football, running triple option, right? Hitting them with the fake pitch, the juke, and I was still non-contact jersey, so they couldn't even hit me. I was just running around playing
like Pat White
recess.
out here.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we got beat by about 50. So it turns out I did not give them the best scout team look. They may have been anticipating a nice little 4.8 40 with a bunch of hip wiggle and no actual jukes. But it was still really fun. So ECU, shout out to whoever's running scout team this week, because they get to go out there and just have an old school fun time. Let's jump to, I forget what number, that was number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Fly ball to right field, number 60.
We don't talk a lot of baseball on this show. 60 home runs in a season. We're going to talk for at least a couple minutes. We're going to talk about it on this show.
Especially for a guy named Raleigh,
who's from North Carolina.
I know.
Cal Raleigh, Mariners catcher, is the 6th person to hit 60 home runs in a season. And
impressive.
If you remove like a section of like 6 years where everybody was juiced to the gills, I believe he's the 4th. Maybe even 3rd. Not 4th. 4th? 5th? I forget. Either way, Cal Raleigh hit 60 home runs. Home run chases create new baseball fans. They're important. It's why the steroid era actually kind of was important to baseball, because coming out of the strike, they had to get all those fans back. How can you not be romantic about baseball? There's Cal Raleigh hitting 60 home runs. Now there's a debate about MVP because Aaron Judge has better underlying metrics and he's hit 50 home runs, but 60 home runs to me is like a trump card. Like, you score 30 touchdowns, you're the MVP. You hit 60 home runs, you're the MVP, but I digress. Right now there is a blurry photo going around social media of the fully grown adult, a dude, just a guy, who caught number 60, the home run, and immediately gave it to a kid. And then that kid is immediately tracked down by Mariners staff, and he's rushed into the back because obviously Cal Raleigh wants the home run, and they're going to make whoever caught its day. And, I'm sure there's tickets and signed bats and all like cool experiences all being offered to Cal Raleigh, or offered to the kid. And once they heard that a adult caught the ball and gave it to the kid, the Mariners are trying to track down the adult to
I've seen that.
Reward him as well. What a move by the guy.
I know, for real.
Just to say, you know what, it's baseball. I could keep it. It could probably worth something. I get a couple $1,000 or something. No, I'm going to do the cool thing. I'm going to give it to the kid, give him a memory of a lifetime. How can you not be romantic about baseball? I'm not sure. And to be honest, I know we all like to pretend like in every situation we'd be the most virtuous. I'm not sure I'd do that. I think I might hold on to the ball, if we're just being completely honest.
I don't blame you.
I would give it to Cal Raleigh in exchange for something cool. But I'm not sure I'd immediately passing that one off to a kid. This is a good move by the guy. And by the way, the blurry photo, he looks like he's having the time of his life. He's just there, big smile on his face. Hopefully the Mariners are able to track him down and they can do something cool for him. 60. It's a lot of home runs. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. Bailey, waist-high snap. Lofts it left side of the end zone. Touchdown, NC State. CJ barely waits, surveys the landscape, and fires a dart to Terrell Anderson.
Thursday, looking towards the weekend. UNC is on a bye. Duke at Syracuse. NC State hosts Virginia Tech. Which, by the way, for our friend of the show, Mike Lennon, who joins us weekly. Mike, multi-year starter at NC State. His brother, multi-year starter at Virginia Tech. Little in-family rivalry there. State is favored, at last I checked, by 10.5. So probably a good year for bragging rights for Mike. I said this earlier, I'll explain it again. Virginia Tech looks eerily similar in build, in like bones of the house, the framing of what they are as a team, to Wake Forest. Team picked to be near the bottom of the ACC. Coaching change, whether in the offseason or actually in season. Virginia Tech has the interim coach. Quarterback that is a more prolific runner than passer. A few players that you need to pay attention to on their offense, including at least one big play special team / big play receiver, with Barnes being the receiver for Wake Forest. Donovan Green, former Wake Forest wide receiver, actually, for Virginia Tech. I want to see what State's improved on. I want to see if they show up ready to play immediately, rather than against Wake Forest, where they had to, taste their own blood before they fought back aggressively and won by a bunch. I want to see what State has learned since that Wake Forest game. Duke is at Syracuse. The Duke win over NC State, I think, stabilized a lot of the opinions on Duke, where Duke beat Elon, lost to Illinois by a bunch, but there was some holding back of opinions because Illinois they're still top 10 in the country. Then they lost to Tulane, and everybody went, oh, wait a minute here. Were we wrong about Duke? Was the hype unwarranted? Then they fell behind to State, and everybody was like, oh, okay, yep, we were ahead. Oh, look at that, we were wrong. Duke storms back, they win by double digits, and now it's like, all right, no. I was right. There's like a re-flag planting for Duke going on right now. No, we were right. Told you. Chandler Rivers made a big play. He's an All-American in the secondary. Darian Mensah was great. He's a $4 million quarterback. Manny Diaz has him locked in. I was right all along. I don't know why I questioned myself. And I'm going actually, I'm going to wait till see what they do against Syracuse. I need to see them for an entire game against an opponent that will fight. Like Syracuse, coached by Fran Brown. They're not going anywhere. But they've got some quarterback injuries going on. They've got some instability. Like, Duke should handle this game. If they do, then I'll go back to, all right, I shouldn't have questioned our thought process there. I'd be comfortable betting them against Cal. Makes that game against number 16 in the country, Georgia Tech, a whole bunch more interesting. And it starts bringing back in, 8+ wins as a possibility for Duke. But I need to see him do it against Syracuse. On the road at Syracuse, by the way. Which is a weird place to play. The old Carrier Dome, it's just a strange vibe. I've worked in upstate New York. It's a weird place to play. That was number 3. 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go one!
Giovanni Smith may go.
And he's going to go right now. But there was a goal.
Wild.
I don't know if we got a goal first or the fight. So we'll have to figure this out. But Smith is going right now with Ben Harper. A couple of heavyweights here. Smith getting a left now, trying to come over the top of the right. Harper and Smith. Now they'll go along the boards. There's the takedown by Giovanni Smith. And we will get this all sorted out because...
Shout out to Mike Maniscalco. Just preseason mid-season form in the boxing call.
I love the celebration of the music, like Raise Up's playing in the background, and like, and we're celebrating a goal, and we got a fight going on. What's happening here?
I love when they cut to the clip, when they cut to the players that were a part of the scoring play as the fight is happening, and they're all watching, and their face is just truly amused. They're just like, this is all right, here we are. This is what we're doing right now. And they're watching the fight. Dennis, you were in attendance, correct? What were your takeaways from it was our first look at the top line.
Yep.
Jesperi Kotkaniemi scored. There was the crazy Suzuki goal fight thing. The up 2-0, you lose 4-2. It was kind of one of those, similar to the Wake Forest NC State game we were talking about earlier. I've got a new name for a theory.
Oh, okay, go on.
Are you familiar with Stefan from SNL?
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live was Bill Hader. He's the guy that gives you advice. It was on a Weekend Update where Seth Meyers was there, and he would give you the updates on like where you should go to party, and he'd be like, you need to go to a new bar. It's called Wang To, and they have everything. They have hubcaps hanging from the ceiling, and they have food that you don't want to eat. It's just like, it's all the most random stuff in the world, and the actual comedy is Bill Hader trying not to laugh. They have John Stamos in the corner. It's just like none of it makes any sense. When there's a game that has everything, I'm going to call it a Stefan game.
Okay.
When you have a food cart on fire, a big guy touchdown, multiple double-digit comebacks, when you have like everything crazy going on. At the end of the game for State Wake, the Wake Forest quarterback just pegged a ref in the nether regions.
Yeah. Food trucks on fire, the whole deal.
Last night, preseason game 2, it's kind of a Stefan game. You had a little bit of everything.
You did. You
had random occurrences. What did you take away being in attendance?
So the biggest thing I was looking for was I want to see just how Nikolaj Ehlers just fits in. Like, all right, how quickly is he going to pick up the system? There are definitely some moments that I saw where Ehlers, Sebastian Aho, Seth Jarvis were definitely trying to like figure each other out on the ice in terms of, okay, I know you're good at this, or I think you're good at this. Let me try and pass it over to you here. Like, well, I think he wants me in this spot, those kinds of things. So they definitely generated a lot of scoring chances, which is a good thing. And I forget who it was that joked afterwards, may have been Aho or even Rob Brindamore, was like, good thing we got all those missed chances out of the way. It's a preseason game. But there were moments.
That's golfer logic right there. Got all my bad shots out of the way on the range. Let's go to the first tee.
Exactly. So you could see the high-level skill and intellect that Ehlers brings to the team, but just how well that can match up with Aho and Jarvis. Will it have success long-term? Time will certainly tell him that, but you could see the ingredients possibly mixing together. I think as well there's a couple moments where I saw Ehlers, like for example, on a back check, just take away a passing lane and tie a guy up to prevent a pass from getting made. I'm like, okay, good. He has that level of commitment on the ice in terms of being a defensive player because Rob Brindamore is going to stress that every single day. To me, it looked fast. The skill is certainly there. It's just going to take time for it to click. They had even on the power play, they had tons of scoring chances as well. Was it clean and perfect? No, far from it. But it's also preseason game 1, and Nikolaj Ehlers got into town, I think, 8 days ago.
Here's the way I look at it for the three of them as a unit, and also throw in Svech and Gostisbehere for the power play top unit. They were roughly the three main characters roughly on the floor. I keep saying floor. I got to get into hockey mode. We're on the ice together for about 17 minutes. That's 17 minutes of data that they are just entering in about each other, right? They are getting inputs of where somebody likes to be, how fast they are, how they ramp up and slow down and use all of their vision and everything else. And the more time they're out there, the more data points they have to enter, the better they will be in their recall and instincts playing together moving forward. You brought it up. I think they had 13, 14 shots between the three of them.
Yeah, tons of scoring chances all over the place.
I wouldn't say they were executing those scoring chances at a high level, but it's preseason. And you never know if it was like, actually, I could have gotten it to him a half beat earlier, and he would have handled it better, but I wasn't sure he was going to be there, so I double took. And then it's like, that's all. I'm not worried about those three. It's very much my my sports theory, which is if you're going to have one guy play really bad, you want it to be your best player because that's the player you're most confident is going to get back. Like when your bad players are playing bad, you're like, we may have a serious problem here. When your best player has an off night, you're like, oh, he's going to figure it out. Like the fact that the three of them were essentially -3 on the ice together, I'm not worried about that line at all. You know what I mean? Like they'll be fine. If Kotkaniemi didn't have a good night, and other Eric Robinson looked like he forgot how to skate. Like if those were happening, I'd be like, all right, we got to monitor that. Those three, they're good hockey players.
Yeah, our guy D. Ely said, not impressed with Ehlers -3, but
my favorite part was Ely said, I'm not gonna panic, and then wrote a whole bunch of like really harrowing things about Nikolaj Ehlers, and I'm going, that's a panic. If you're taking away anything negative about a player in his first game on a new team in the early preseason, that's panic.
And also keep this in mind as well, that one of the goals he was out there on the ice, same thing with Jarvis, was the goalie, I can't remember his name, that came in the third period, coughed up the puck behind the net and just gave up a freebie. And then the other time they had a minus was because there was an empty net goal where there's just kind of miscommunication on a pass.
Miffed a few?
Yeah, he did actually. And then there's also a missed pass or whatever it was when there's an empty net and the puck just rolls in. Is that bad defense or you're just caught on bad circumstances?
I'm not 100% sure if they leave Freddie in, it's not a 2-0 shutout win.
Oh, for sure. Freddie got bored yesterday, I think.
The Miftakov had a 57% save percentage.
Yeah, not good.
Not good. And by the way, I'm not piling on him. It's just saying it's preseason and you don't have NHL units out there in full. As you shouldn't, because if Freddie got the work he needed for the day, take Freddie out. Do not be like, we got to protect this shutout, fellas. Doesn't move the needle, if you will. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need numbers game contestants. If you want to compete in the numbers game and potentially win yourself a $30 gift card to Alpaca Chicken, legendary flavor Hometown Pride, you need to call in now. We need 2 contestants. The number to call, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 for your chance to play the numbers game and maybe win a gift card to Alpaca Chicken. Call in now. Numbers game next.
Move your sports day forward.
A third of the way through football season and Triangle teams have too many unanswered questions. Can NC State get a pass rush going? Do we declare Duke an offensive juggernaut? And please, someone define Carolina football beyond Bill's team. All three better figure it out quick, or another trip to an 8th choice bowl is in the future.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's game night in Cary. North Carolina FC takes on the Miami FC Friday, September 26th at First Horizon Stadium at 7 p.m. Grab your tickets now at tickets.northcarolinafc.com. Don't miss a moment of the action. Stay cool, stay fierce.
It's bow time. Fumble in the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you could say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything! The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu!
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. All right, the contestants for today, John and Wilson, Eric in Durham. They'll be competing in jersey number competition for a chance, or actually to win, not for a chance to win. One of them will win an Alpaca Chicken $30 gift card, legendary flavor Hometown Pride. As always, we'll bring each of them onto the show individually, ask them the same question. Dennis will pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. Now we'll start with John and Wilson. John, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. We'll stick with, let me think of I had a question in my brain just 2 seconds ago and I forgot it.
I have a question.
All right, Dennis.
I'll pose this one. Actually, you know what? And Tim will choose who goes first. So we're going to flip this one around. All right, in honor of our man, D. Ely, that's always in our YouTube live chat, who loves Ryan Suzuki. This is not a bash on Ryan Suzuki. But what is an athlete, a name of an athlete that might be a maybe quote-unquote like a minor league player or maybe a non-star player that you are absolutely in love with? I'll give an example real quick. Former Pittsburgh Steelers running back Verron Haynes. He was a backup running back, and I absolutely love that guy. So, John and Wilson, we'll start with you first. An under-the-radar athlete that you absolutely love or loved.
Oh, I tell you, I got to see guy Jurickson Profar. I got to see him play in Single A when I lived in Hickory. Play for the Crawdads. And obviously a name that really stood out, and he was a pretty good player at that point too. So I'll go with that one.
All right, I'm good. No follow-ups. You got to take the reins on this one.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so then we'll go to our next contestant. We have Eric in Durham. Eric, same question for you. Who's that under-the-radar athlete that you absolutely love?
As far as professionally, I have to go with Nyheim Hines. I know he was a star in college, but Nyheim Hines.
All right.
Tim, any questions?
No follow-ups. I'm gonna talk out my answer here. I think Jurickson Profar is, and this is no disrespect to Nyheim Hines, I think Jurickson Profar is too good. I'm pretty sure he's an all-star. Like, that's not under the radar, right? We're talking Ryan Suzuki love. Jurickson Profar is like
Brendan Lemieux.
Yeah. He's a good player. Probably made, I don't know, $80, $100 million in his career. Nyheim Hines, special team, third down back, a little bit more under the radar. I think he's a really good player, especially before the injury. But and he was really good at state. But I'm going with Nyheim Hines. So who's that? That's Eric in Durham. Eric in Durham gets to go first. John and Wilson, don't worry, you will have your chance. You just have to sit on hold for a minute. That brings us to the actual game here. Eric, are you ready to pick a category?
I'm ready.
All right, we have NFL players that led a game in something. So they led their team in a stat for a game in 2025. At least one, maybe more. NFL players, we're calling them Bob, Bobbies, Robs, and Roberts. Basically all, you get it there. Their first name is one of those four. NBA players with mid-September birthdays or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
I'm going to go with the stat leaders.
Okay.
NFL stat leaders.
These are all players that led their team in a stat for one game, at least one game, in this season, the short season thus far. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jeremy McNichols, Washington Commanders.
17.
Incorrect. Emeka Egbuka, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
22.
Incorrect. Jeremy McNichols, Washington Commanders.
27.
Incorrect. Emeka Egbuka, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
18.
Incorrect. Jeremy McNichols, Washington Commanders.
47.
Incorrect. Emeka Egbuka, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
23.
Incorrect. Jeremy McNichols. Were you just throwing darts there? Did you not have an idea? Or did you have some general idea of what the players were? Just curious.
I feel like I know who those players are. I just don't know their numbers.
Okay, because it felt like you were throwing darts and you got to within one of Jeremy McNichols. You said 27. We were looking for 26, which would have been a pretty good dart throw.
I thought he was in the 20s, but I didn't have a good idea, so I just kept throwing.
All right, and Egbuka wears number 2 with the Bucks.
22. Yeah.
There's some similarities there. You may be stretching a little, but I'll give it to you. Either way, that is an offer. So the only way you win is if it is a tie. So you're going to have to get a little lucky here. Stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up. That brings us to John and Wilson. John, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, the categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL, Bob, Bobbies, Robs, and Roberts, all players with one of those names. NBA players, mid-September birthdays, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
Let's go with NFL, Bobs, and Bobbies, and Roberts.
All right, Bob, Bobby, Robin, Roberts. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You do need at least one for the win. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir. I'm good.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Rob Gronkowski, New England Patriots.
87.
Correct. Bobby Wagner, Washington Commanders.
54.
Correct. Robert Woods, Houston Texans.
17.
Incorrect. Bob Sanders, Indianapolis Colts.
20.
Incorrect. Robert Woods, Houston Texans.
5.
Incorrect. Bob Sanders, Indianapolis Colts.
21.
Correct. Robert Quinn, St. Louis Rams.
95.
Incorrect. Robert Woods, Houston Texans.
18.
Incorrect. Robert Quinn.
Outman.
I do think you were getting closer. You were kind of honing in on it. You got 3. You got Gronk. You got Wagner. You got Sanders. Good pull on Bob Sanders, though. I feel like he's getting lost to history, and he shouldn't. He was really good. Robert Woods, we were looking for number 2 with Houston. Robert Quinn, we were looking for number 94.
Close there.
Here's a fun fact that means absolutely nothing. You were perfect on non-Roberts. You got all the Robs, Bobbies, and Bobs. You just didn't get the 2 Roberts. 3 is plenty for the win, though. So congratulations.
Thank you.
$30 gift card to Alpaca Chicken coming your way. All you have to do is stand in the line and give Dennis the info he needs.
By the way, we have more people chiming in on the YouTube live chat about favorite under the radar athletes. Jay said the answer is Ryan Suzuki. But also our guy Micah said Brendan Lemieux is the only right answer that we shouted out. Actually, Jay did say I would actually go with Serge Zwicker.
Am I supposed to know that? You're looking at me like
I'm not entirely sure.
It's a great name. I don't know.
Yes. Brandon R said actually he was on the app, like on our YouTube, on our 99.9 The Fan app, packing. But his wife said the underrated player answer can only be Brenton Burson because I know and love him. So he had to jump back on the YouTube to comment. So yeah, Brenton Burson, the former Carolina Panther wide receiver, if I remember correctly.
If the one that popped into my brain, I know you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you anyway. The one that popped into my brain is Speedy Claxton, the point guard who when I was a big fan, he was the backup point guard for the Sixers in like 2001 maybe, where everybody was obsessed with Allen Iverson, and I also was because that age he was the coolest guy on the planet to us. But Speedy Claxton was on the team, came off the bench, led the second unit occasionally, backed up Eric Snow. Speedy Claxton, I think he played at Hofstra, was weirdly one of the players that I had like trading cards and everything. Him and Todd McCullough was on that team. Those were my guys, which is a weird thing to be obsessed with when you were 10, 11 years old. Either way, The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you to the commenter who was on our app, 99.9 The Fan, brand new app. It's out there for your use. You can live stream this show. You can live stream the Adam Gold Show, the play-by-play we have in many cases, things like Wolfpack Weekly, which is coming up here in 20 minutes now here on 99.9 The Fan. There's podcasts, there's blogs, there's things you can win right now. There are ways to win a Xavier Leggett signed jersey. There's ways to win Ed Sheeran tickets. There's like a lot of really cool stuff that we are hooking up on the app. So download the app, 99.9 The Fan. Please give us 5-star ratings and reviews and all that sort of thing. And then enjoy. The rest is just the fun part.
That's right. Ed Sheeran at Bank of America Stadium on October 17th, 2026. So, yeah, you can, like I said, download the brand new app, 99.9 The Fan app, or you can visit 999thefan.com and enter for your chance, by the way. There's a little contest tab. Just click on that, by the way, and that's all you got to do. Basically, 999thefan.com is just another way to access everything we have on our app.
It's very similar.
It's awesome.
Again, I've said this like 1,000 times, but, when I was playing quarterback, I was told by my family, we're a family of quarterbacks, every time you're interviewed, mention your offensive line, and at the end of the interview, ask the reporter, hey, if you could get that comment that I said about my offensive line, if you could work that into the article, I'd really appreciate it. They don't do it every time, but it's more likely, and it just helps you get protected a little bit better in the game. So I'll say this, and I'm not even doing this like it's a rule. I'm doing this because it's earned.
Mm-hmm.
People that built the app, there's a lot of work that went on behind the scenes. They did a great job, and what I'm a big fan of is they didn't, like I would do, go, it's good enough, right? If something came back and that wasn't exactly what I wanted, but, it works, so you got to click an extra button to get there. They were sticklers for, no, let's send it back. Let's go back to the design team. Let's make sure we get it right. And it came out as close to flawless as I think it could. So 99.9 The Fan on the app. Check it out. Subscribe. All that sort of stuff. We're going to talk some more hockey when we come back. But first, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to pass along.
I do. Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, you may be trapped in a high-rate mortgage. Maybe you're watching all your hard-earned money just vanish away every single month. Well, stop. Right now at Loan Pronto, they're delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases, and here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no obligation quote. Loan Pronto, they're amazing. Lower payment. Imagine this. Just think about this. Lower payments every single month. More money in your pocket and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let high rates hold you back, folks. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Nikolaj Ehlers. It wasn't his regular season debut, but it was a debut nonetheless. How'd he do his first time in the Lenovo Center on the game ice? Stick around.
ECU Pirates football tonight. ECU battles Army.
There he goes, London Montgomery at the 40 to the 30, twisted out of bounds at the 25-yard line. See where they mark him out finally at the 21-yard line. This time the fake of the head up. Hauser keeps it, dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Pirates. Finally get a touchdown in the game.
Pre-game starts at 7. Kickoff at 8 on 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle's home for college football.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up, you get early payout on parlays too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Must be physically located in North Carolina. T&Cs apply.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Folks, if you have struggled with your weight, you definitely need to listen to this. Through the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center, I have lost over 35 pounds. And I'm approaching almost 40 pounds lost thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And that's just the start. The goal with Raleigh Weight Loss Center is not just to reach a target weight. It's to help you maintain that target weight once you get there. So many of these fad diets, it's up and down, up and down, up and down. Raleigh Weight Loss Center wants you to keep it down once you reach that weight. No shots or injections, just restarting and resetting your metabolism. That way your body can do the natural thing. My clothes fit better. I'm sleeping a lot better. I'm not snoring as much at night. Everything has gotten so much better thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Visit them online, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, or give them a call, 919-897-7506, 919-897-7506. Set up that free consultation at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
Gostisbehere hammers one out in front. Tarasov gets across to Rob Ehlers.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Nikolaj Ehlers. He played for the Canes last night. It was a preseason game, but he had his away game jersey on in the home arena. So it wasn't exactly what we're going to expect from the regular season. But he was out there. He was skating with Sebastian Aho and Seth Jarvis. And on the power play unit, there was Gostisbehere and Svetch. And for at least the beginnings of it, Freddie Anderson was in net. So and Rod Brindamore was on the bench. And so it was at least kind of a simulation of what we're going to expect from Nikolaj Ehlers once the season gets started. And the real question becomes, was it and should it have been anything more than just getting a home game out of the way, right? Because that we played the audio for you yesterday. That's what Rod Brindamore was kind of looking at it as. It was just a way to kind of rip the Band-Aid off, right? Break the seal, whatever you want to call it. Just take the wrapping off the new toy, and that way you're not precious about it. Or actually, Dennis, I'll use an example that's right up your alley.
All right.
Sometimes when you get a new pair of sneakers,
go on,
you got to wear them quick.
I have a pair that was given to me this morning by my significant other, and she gave it to me as a gift because it's our anniversary, and I'm wearing them right now.
Because you can put it on a pedestal, right? You can put them in the closet. I'll save it for a special occasion, and then is it special enough? And then eventually it's too long in, and you're just not enjoying your sneakers. So Nikolaj Ehlers playing in the second preseason game right now. It's not precious anymore. You've seen it. You can be critical of it. You can go and film. You can say the things he did well, the things he didn't do well. He's no longer just an idea. Like, that much took place last night. Was it anything more than that? I don't think so. I'd like that. Obviously, he didn't go out there and score 6 goals, right? He didn't score 6 goals with 6 helpers it wasn't a 18-point night for the Aho, Jarvis, Ehlers line. Would have been a real fun fact if it happened. Real trivia question, right? In their first preseason game, how many points did they get? But to me, it really was just about getting on the ice and starting to gain information. I almost don't care how well or poorly it went for those guys. Because if it went well, all that does is tell their super high hockey IQs, do that again. If it goes poorly, their super high hockey IQs go, don't do that again. Either way, you're learning the right way to do it, right? Either by learning to do the opposite or doing it. If that makes any sense. I know I kind of logicked and circled there. But I'm not, and I refuse to be too overly critical or overly complimentary of players that have proven their worth in a regular season NHL environment based on their preseason play. Okay? So Nikolaj Ehlers went out there. To me, he looked like Nikolaj Ehlers. He looked like the guy that I've seen on tape. He looked like the guy that I was, went and did deep dives on when they signed him. And that's almost enough for me. And if you were expecting more than that, or if you were demanding more than that, I think that might be more eye of the beholder than the person you're watching, right? That's a you problem as much as that is a Nikolaj Ehlers problem. Were you left wanting anything from Ehlers?
No.
Exactly. I think that's the appropriate way to think about it. Whatever happened happens. The things that you want to see is improvement. The things that you want to see include not making the same mistakes 2 and 3 and 4 times. You want to see improvement week to week, month to month as they continue to build with each other. There's really it's almost like last night was, not even last night. I'm going to say the first regular season game they play is the aptitude test, right? It's the math test that you take when you go into a new school, so they know what you know and what's going on, and from now on, we're going to measure how much better you are than where you are now. Or I'll even use a different analogy. And this was, I think I was one of the first classes of college football players to take it. The concussion baseline test.
Yeah.
Where you have to sit there in front of a computer, and it's like you got to do matching as quick as you can, and they show you a squiggly line, then they take it off, off the screen, then they show you 10 squiggly lines, and you have to try to pick the one that you just saw, and you do all this kind of stuff. And you're thinking I can do this well. When in actuality, there is no doing it well. They're just seeing what your baseline is. So if you are concussed, you'll go in and take it, and they can measure how much better and worse you are. That's kind of what last night was. All right, now we know where the Aho, Jarvis, Ehlers line is. That's the baseline. There was nothing to compare it to before. Now, if they play another preseason game, and I'm not sure they will, but if they do, you want to see them be a little bit more on the same page. You want to see them be a little bit quicker in their decisions. You want to see them have a little bit better chemistry. But then you hit the regular season, and I'm going to do the same thing. however they play in game 1 of the regular season, or even like the first 3 or 4 games, now we know their baseline. As long as they're better the next month than they were in those first couple of games, and as long as they're better at the postseason than they were in the first month, that's all I'm looking for.
Yeah, for this team, in all honesty, let's be real. It's all about them figuring out during the regular season what they have until the postseason. Just get in the postseason and just have it figured out by then. That's it.
And it's not even just the players. Rod has to learn which buttons he can push with Ehlers.
Sure.
When does he need a break? When does he need a kick in the rear? When does he need a stare? Right? Like there's a lot of things that go into chemistry beyond, Aho didn't make the pass when Ehlers was open. That stuff I think they'll figure out quickly because they're that good. But there's also all the other stuff. There's all of the other things going on. And the power play and everything else, it'll all come together. It just takes time.
They'll be fine. Again, preseason game number 1. It was just cool to see him out there skating. It was just fun.
What'd you think of the jerseys?
I don't like.
You're weirdly becoming our fashion correspondent.
I am clearly. I'll be honest. Seeing them in person, I'm not the biggest fan of the numbers because the red. Well, and I'll say the reason why. The red of the numbers doesn't feel like it fully matches the red of the rest of the uniform. It's like a little bit brighter and shinier, I'd say. And
Different shades of red. Now I'm gonna have to go look it up.
And I wish there was maybe a black piping around the numbers as well. I think that would allow it to pop a little bit more, but. I was a little bit more excited about them when I saw them initially, but now I've seen them in person a couple times.
Well, it's the away jersey, so we'll only see them on TV anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking at it now. I can't tell if the numbers are a different jersey. You're correct that they don't have an outline, which is kind of weird.
They don't have an outline, but the color of red is it's a little bit lighter. It's weird. It's not identical to the rest of the uniform. It's slightly off.
It's a little, yeah. And even I'll go with this, and this is my very, very, and now we're deep into the fashion world. My very amateur opinion. The red that's on the logo in front seems a bit more electric, like a bit more like fluorescent.
That's what the number on the back looks like.
Than the sleeves. I wonder if that was intentional. Because to me, that's something that I would not, when I'm a bigger guy. Sometimes you got to order online. I wouldn't notice that on the screen, and then it would show up, and I'd open it, and I'd be like, oh, man, these two, they're different blues, or they're different reds, or whatever it is. I wonder if that was anticipated. And and you know what? Now you just leaky fauceted me. I wasn't hearing it, but then somebody goes, "Is there something dripping?" And now that's all I can listen to. I didn't notice the numbers were not great, and now it's all I'm going to notice every time I look at the players. I actually think there should be some kind of piping around the numbers on the shoulders, just for visual purposes. As somebody that's done some play-by-play, I always want super pop, super clear numbers.
Actually, yes. From that purpose, absolutely.
One time we watched, when I was a kid, University of Hawaii, during the Colt Brennan years, they had white jerseys with light silver numbers, and I was listening to it on the radio, and the play-by-play guy gave up. He was just saying wide receivers made a catch. It looks like a tight end was down there with them. They had no clue. It was one of the funnier broadcasts I've ever heard.
I was doing play-by-play of high school OT years ago for a Friday night football game, and I think it was Green Hope High School had basically it was white jerseys with white numbers, and just the numbers were just outlined in green. And I just said, folks, I was like, look, I'm going to screw this up.
Yeah.
I don't know who caught that, but that was a nice catch.
Colt Brennan threw it down there. Somebody caught it. 1st and 10. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, coming to a close. We do have Wolfpack Weekly up next, then ECU Army later on. Download the app, please. You can listen to darn near all of our content on the 99.9 The Fan app. I'll be back tomorrow to round out the show. I believe Dennis will be getting a jump on the weekend. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
on the Wolfpack Sports Network from Learfield. This is Wolfpack Sports Today, your daily look inside NC State athletics. And now, here's Wolfpack Sports Today.
I'm Matt Chazanow. The ACC's leading rusher looks forward. Wolfpack Sports Today is next.
The top-rated public golf course in Raleigh is none other than the Lonnie Pool Golf Course at NC State. No wonder this championship course was designed by Arnold Palmer and is challenging and fun to play for all skill levels. Join a league or take lessons. Check out the latest equipment in the golf shop. You can even have your swing analyzed or get a custom club fitting from one of the nation's premier master fitters. It's all here at your #1 golf course. Learn more at LonniePoolGolfCourse.com.
Pac football loses by 12 points at Duke Saturday. Running back Hollywood Smothers says his quarterback, CJ Bailey, and the Pac just need to move right along.
Keep being CJ